In a world of remakes and remasters,
Are we playing for
what was once sacred and cool has now soured and become lame.
Red?
Gone are the days of Pops and Cowabunga. Now is the reign of slurp juice and dabs. Kids these days don't even know how bad they've got it. Now it's up to the best generation to rise to the occasion and make a show that dares to go where a lot of other nerdy shows have already gone quite a bit. That's right. They're going to talk about it a lot.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. This is Best Gen, where nerds complain about nerdy things, and it's called Best Gen because all of us on the panel are mas o menos from the same generation, and we happen to think that it's the best one, not because we're better than you, but our movies certainly were. So strap on in and prepare to wax nostalgic as we reminisce upon the days of yore, while simultaneously complaining about the utter filth and dumb stuff that Hollywood's making today. How's everybody doing?
Doing all right, despite a very busy week.
David's doing all right. I'm not doing great either. I feel like garbage. I've got bubbly guts.
That sounds fun.
So everybody think about that. It's a great way to start the stream. We got the happy Mexican in the crew, and last but certainly not least, we're joined by Albelio, our dear friend, because he wants to fight me.
Uh-oh.
Bring it.
I wish I was in better form tonight, because we're going to have a good old-fashioned nerd brawl about the Alien movie. So we got that to talk about. We got the shows we've been watching on Apple TV to talk about. There's been a whole bunch of news. It has been a news week. It's going to be a fun night. And I apologize in advance if I seem lethargic or not displaced. I'm not a refugee. What's the word I'm looking for? Despondent? Despondent.
Illegal immigrant?
That's the one. It came to me eventually. I am technically a Mexican after all. So.
You're a legal non-immigrant.
Oh, man. You guys want to talk news
I
first?
can play Uno with him.
Yeah. I can count to Uno for sure.
Now you want to start off with news?
Yeah, there's some news. I just thought it was really funny when Albelio tweeted out this morning that he's coming on the show. It's not my brain, the way that you worded it. You just said, I'm going on a show tonight. Until then, have a good day, everyone. And my brain interpreted that as, make sure that your day is good because the stream is just going to ruin it.
Okay. It's like, oh yeah, guys, we're going on a show. It's going to be a good day, but if you join the show, it's just gonna be terrible.
Right? Like prepare. You didn't do anything wrong, but like that's how my brain interpreted the post, and so I commented on it. It was funny. Okay, I gotta show you the funniest thing from the DNC. I hope you guys haven't been watching that because I pray for your sanity. But holy crap, you guys!
I haven't watched the clips. They are pretty cringe. Is the definition of cringe?
Okay, this is okay. If you didn't, it's fine. You don't need to. You don't need to have watched it at all. This will sum up the entire experience.
I heard about this.
It's the best moment. It made me laugh so freaking hard. They're making fun of JD Vance because he said that cat ladies are ruining America. You know, and everyone tried to take his words out of context. Oh, he's making fun of women who can't have children. No, he specifically said that's not what I'm doing. I'm talking about the people who choose not to and don't contribute to society, which, you know, we used to like criticize
Shun
that
them.
for what it was.
Yeah.
We called them pariahs. But yeah, so this is great. Just watch.
To
You guys can hear, right?
Yep.
I shared the audio. This is the best moment. This will sum up the entire DNC for you, buddy.
to a childless cat lady.
She's looking for it behind her. That's what kills.
Why?
This is
why
the
did the cameraman think that childless cat lady should instantly go to Garfield?
Why would they cut to her?
It's so dirty. It's so dirty.
Wow.
She's
And I think she's a member of the press. Like,
she's into it. Like, look, watch it again. I'm gonna mute it, but just look, watch her reaction. Yeah. Oh. She's into it. She's into it. Sees herself on camera, and then just prays. Oh. Are they pointing the camera at the person behind? Oh, there's no one there. Oh, it's me. Oh.
oh,
Yeah.
that girl joined the gym the very next day.
Yeah.
That girl watched David Goggins' video. She went for a raining, freezing out there. Like,
That's worse than any kiss cam at a baseball game moment, you know.
Murdered
Oh.
her cats. She drowned her cats. Just
They did. I didn't pull up this clip. They did the same thing when they were talking about abortion. They give a huge speech saying, "Oh, we're gonna kill babies, kill babies, kill babies," and yeah. Showed a whole bunch of women cheering, and then they cut to a dad holding a baby, and he's like,
Oh no!
we're gonna get it. We gonna get it.
Wow.
Late, really post-term abortions. Not even late term, like post-term.
gives a whole new meaning to "we're coming for your children," doesn't it? All right, politics out of the way, everybody. Let's get to nerd stuff.
Oh my god, that was so funny.
Lots of Rings of Power news. Are you guys ready?
So much.
It's this week, right? Is it? Oh,
This
dear.
week?
This
Coming up?
Thursday.
I had so many articles from Rings of Power and from all the news that came out of Acolyte this week. My feed was just full of those two topics.
Oh yeah. My Twitter would have me believe that people watched The Acolyte for how many posts I'm seeing of,
Right.
oh man, I can't believe they canceled this show. This gives me no faith in Disney. And I'm like,
Look,
I also don't have faith in Disney, but like,
Not
You're-
because they canceled a bad show.
like, welcome to the club, I guess.
welcome back.
Isn't it funny how Kathleen Kennedy got blamed by by the actress Amanda Stenberg?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Well, it's hilarious too because just the 1 or 2 days before it was announced that Acolyte was canceled, there were so many other articles that are like, oh, they're dropping hints about a season 2. The showrunner and director and some of the actresses they're dropping hints about a possibility of a season 2. We're so excited. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's not going to get a season 2. And then lo and behold, the
I
next
remember
day
that.
canceled.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah, it
that.
was insane.
Some people were making fun of the people saying like, "Oh, they're throwing hints at
Yeah.
season 2," and it's like, who even like imagine in what world that they're gonna have a season 2?
I think my favorite bit of the discourse around the Acolyte by far is the fact that the cope of, well, actually, technically, they're not continuing the show right now, which means there's a possibility for a season 2.
It's
So
going to be
technically, it's not
rebranded.
canceled.
It's going to be
It's like-
rebranded because we already know who the Acolyte is now. So now they can call the show
The gecko.
The rule of two.
yeah.
Yeah.
Call it
Yeah.
the power of many.
Out, please, no.
Oh yeah.
Mex is low
Acolyte
volume.
revenge, the power of many.
Is it me, Mexa, or Mexa? I can turn him up from here.
Yeah, which one are we talking about?
The real one or the fake one?
The technical.
How is
yeah.
it really low? Like,
I turned you up a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm hearing you coming through pretty well.
yeah,
I
my mic is like top volume.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even.
Yeah.
I
It's
think
always
it
a
was
little bit lower, I think.
Yeah, he can turn down the gains on their side.
the least.
It might be the rest of us too, because I just got a brand
Oh,
new
the
mic.
legal
you can
mix.
see here.
Wait,
I mean,
what?
see, legality doesn't help because that is what makes me technically a Mexican. I don't have a drop of blood in me, but I've got nationality, right?
I've got a taco in me. Does that count?
Yeah, that counts. You too can, for the low price of 99 cents a month.
For
You
the
too.
low cent of 50
You too
pesos,
can.
you can be.
You two can don the diversity shroud and become technically a Mexican. All you got to do is become a channel member, and then you can't be criticized ever.
Yep.
You effectively become a trans person without any of the hard work.
It would be like
I've got no filter today. I am. Maybe I should get sick more often.
yeah. I mean, we don't care. Like,
Also, congratulations on 3K. I just noticed.
Oh yeah, I just noticed too. I think it happened last Sunday, and I didn't mention it because I wasn't paying attention. You can make it run on the border. Oh dear. Yeah. So the Acolyte got canceled. There were a couple big articles about it, and of course, it couldn't be the fault of the writing.
Lisa Mercante,
Or God forbid,
Heaven
Amanda Steinberg take responsibility for her diss track insulting the fans. She blames Kathleen Kennedy. This isn't the big one. I think the Rolling Stone did the big one. Like, can Star Wars survive the worst of its fans? And like you said, like the discourse on Twitter, no reference intended. Has been, it could still be revived, or the fact that the mainstream media is paying attention is a good sign. As if this was anything new, though. That, like, they're actually pretending like this has never happened before. That Star Wars has never made a bad show, and the media has rallied to give it fake support and blame the fans. Star Wars treats its fans worse than any IP ever. They're constantly calling us racist. They're constantly saying, we don't need you. Star Wars isn't for you. It's for insert new demographic we're catering to here.
childish cat ladies.
How is this new? I think you shared this one with me, David. Was there anything you wanted to see from it specifically?
No, it basically is just saying that, streaming has changed the way that we view TV shows, and we're having these. I think one of the arguments that they bring up is that modern TV shows have fewer and fewer episodes, and that hurt the Acolyte. And it's like just
streaming
shut up.
hasn't changed the way that we view TV shows. Streaming has changed when we view TV shows.
And it definitely is.
What changed TV shows is companies thinking that, because it's streaming, we don't have to put any work into it, and throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what streaming sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's their metrics are not going to be the same. They're paying attention to, they're looking for all the wrong things and trying for all the wrong things.
Our habits haven't changed. We want good TV. We're going to watch good TV, and we're not going to watch not good TV. It's not complicated.
There is one thing that I will push back on. It has changed because streaming often front loads everything in one season immediately out. So because of that, what you end up getting is less time to digest over time. So instead of water cooler talk, like
Sure.
like you remember how Game of Thrones came out? Like
If you're talking like weekly release versus binging,
yeah, exactly. So because of that,
right.
you have more episodes over time, which allows for more dialogue over those episodes. And because you have longer periods of time to watch the show, you can get more or less. But you actually more.
And that's almost an entirely different argument, though. And streaming services are finally realizing, hey, maybe we shouldn't toss out the whole season at once.
Well, and the other thing that like they greenlight a season really easily, then it's a short season, but then they don't get ready for a second season until much later. So either we wait a really long time in between, or we get immediate reaction from the first season and cancel it after the first season without trying to do any further. Or
I think that was another.
Hey, we're not getting any new subscribers, so we're not going to continue it even if it's successful. Or like all sorts of weird stuff that they're handling differently based on the fact that slightly,
Mark.
Yo quiero.
Mark Clark, there's a better way to say that. Come on.
Jared, I think that is another point that they kind of bring up in the article, but again, most of the article is focused on how we consume the media,
right?
And how
I do think there's a little bit of difference, but overall, it's they're trying to make a bigger deal out of it, or making it into more of a thing than
they're trying to jump through hoops to explain any other reason other than, hey, this show was bad. It was bad writing, it was bad directing, it was bad acting, it was bad everything all around. But
it was canceled because of the people who review bombed the show without watching it. If anything, they gave it more views, right?
I still haven't even reviewed it, right?
Yeah, I haven't left a review either.
Yeah,
review bombing's not a thing, guys. It's definitely not a thing. It's definitely not review bombing when they get a petition to renew the Acolyte and sign it with 10 different emails from the same person. No. Of course, positive review bombing never happens. Like, you don't think that these people didn't try and positively review bomb the Acolyte?
Yeah.
Review bombing is not a thing. It can happen, but it happens both ways, and they cancel each other out.
Yeah.
Like, just accept that the show is bad.
I mean, this guy has a Palestine flag in his his bio on Twitter, on a Western platform like that. That's all you need to know about this person. He's a useful idiot.
Yeah.
Here was another take.
There's a line from a Nightwish song that it's hard to light a candle, easy to curse the dark instead, and that's exactly what I think about because they can't accept responsibility.
You said this from a song?
Yeah, it's it's one of Nightwish's songs. I'll look up what it is, but the line is it's like hard to light a candle, easy to curse the dark instead.
Huh. That's profound.
Half the fandom is either toxic or hates everything. The other half of fandom actually enjoys stuff, is slowly being trained to not get invested or care because it's just going to get canceled. Andor. Your point is completely disproven.
Yep.
I thought I was going to hate Andor, ended up liking it. The ending sucked. I still like the show.
Yep.
Yeah. You gave up on the Mandalorian when he went drag racing in the Jawas. Yeah, that's about the time that it stopped being mediocre and turned into full-on garbage. I will fight David on the fact that the Mandalorian was never good.
Come at me, bro.
It was only okay.
I'm with David there.
First
last ride of the day.
Bomb.
Star Wars has made it abundantly clear that it only wants one type of fan. Well, they need to pick a lane because they've told us they don't want us either.
Yeah.
Like this canceling the TV show. It's not exactly catering to the people that they're claiming it's catering to, right? Like, this isn't make me happy that the Acolyte was canceled. It's like oh yay, finally you've stopped beating the dead corpse. Like, it's still dead. It doesn't fix anything. It's a mercy kill. It's putting someone out of it. It's not a victory lap. It's putting something out of its misery.
I love the comments that have come up occasionally that I've seen on Twitter. It's like, okay, bigots, you won. How do you feel? Oh, I feel great, actually. Thanks.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So I'm trying to order this off screen. The Rings of Power actually just won an award. I'm done talking about the Acolyte, but you guys need to see this. Yes, Rings of Power. Any guesses on what the award is?
Consumer.
Is there an Emmy, Razzie, something or
Not a
other?
Razzie. No. It's a good
the Guinness World Record for the
diversity of
second
sales.
time a film company's been kicked out of New Zealand.
No. It's a positive. It's a positive. Depending on how you look on it. Okay. It's supposed to be a positive thing.
Most diversely adapted.
I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah.
No. Make sure you don't have anything in your mouth because it's going to be spit out.
Okay, here we go.
Because climate change is scarier than Sauron.
Oh my!
Congratulations to the Rings of Power Season 2 for earning our EMA Gold Seal for sustainable production.
They killed a horse and
They
burnt
killed multiple horses
And didn't they leave a
And-
bunch of styrofoam?
and are not allowed back in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're going to see them. Exactly.
That's ridiculous. Wow.
New Zealand was a beautiful, gorgeous country until the Rings of Power production team came and destroyed everything.
They are. This is why. This is why they had to switch back to England for production, because they were kicked out of New Zealand.
Exactly. Because it's way more expensive to shoot on the UK. I think that if this, please, I hope this happens.
Gadfly.
But if this season is so bad that it gets zero numbers at all, maybe they cancel it right away. Because why would they just keep paying for England?
Like, they need season 2 to do well. They are pushing season 2 for stuff like this. This is paid for, right? Like, this is one of those JD Power awards that it's not a real thing. It was just created by what's the company that created JD Power, the car company? Is it not
General Electric? I don't know.
It's what's the one with the cross?
General Motors?
No. It's the
Chevy?
Chevy.
Chevy.
Cross.
Is it Chevy?
The yellow
look,
cross,
yeah.
the plus sign.
The plus sign. They created an award show, or an award thing so that they could get awards.
Yeah.
Oh, it's rated. It's won the JD Power 10 years in a row, right? And you're like, and then you look it up and it's never gone to anyone else because you own the company, right?
Yeah.
They are desperately pushing
But
season
you know
2.
what I have noticed with the Rings of Power stuff? When the first Rings of Power came out, there was a lot of money put into boosting artificially whatever it had to deal with the Rings of Power. That's why so many of our channels got so many views so early on the Rings of Power stuff, because they were boosting the hashtag Rings of Power with actual money, both in Twitter and in YouTube, obviously.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're doing it right. I don't think they're gonna do that this time. So I don't know how in hell is gonna get any views.
I mean, they've already lost a third of their viewership.
Yeah.
And most of that was just people, oh, hey, I'm curious. And then they saw the first episode and peaced out, right? I have not seen what they've done to the UK. Is it just as bad? I assume it probably is because everything about the show screams incompetence.
Yeah.
Oh, did you guys see this? Did you guys see this one?
Oh, isn't she the new like Black Harfoot?
No. They released a minute
not a
long
Harfoot, it's
a
another-
minute long promotion video asking each of the main characters their character's morality. And only 2 characters said my character is good. They Galadriel said my character's good. Elrond says my character is good. Sauron says no, I think my character is good.
What?
He says he's evil, but he thinks he's good. And then every other character said, "Oh, my character is morally gray, morally gray, morally gray." I mean, that one the one character that is definitively not good on screen says she's good.
Yeah.
The only character that actually makes bad choices.
Well, I mean,
it's
Galadriel
really
makes
telling.
bad choices.
Besides
You're
Galadriel,
gonna,
right?
like, release
Remember.
Balrog or some bullshit like that.
They're all Elendil. They're all morally gray, morally gray, morally gray, morally gray. And Amazon themselves published this, promoting a Tolkien
A
property.
lot of morally gray.
It really tells a lot that they don't actually understand the morality of Lord of the Rings if they're saying morally gray.
It's
Lord-
the
Lord of the
most
Rings-
black and white, good and evil.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I guess you could argue that maybe the Chronicles of Narnia is more black and white.
True.
But even then, you get characters like Shash, right, in the last battle. He's objectively morally black. He's the Antichrist, but he convinces a lot of people to become morally gray, right?
Yeah. I guess the only morally gray people would be people like Boromir, or even I'm blanking on his father.
Denethor.
Denethor, yeah.
Yeah, but even then, it's like
You know.
like they were corrupted by the ring's power.
Right,
exactly.
They're good, and they have moments where they fall, but they're morally white.
True. But I'm saying those are
Like
the only ones
you can
that,
have
like,
morally good
you can make
characters
the
make
argument for.
mistakes, or
definitely.
So here's your morally gray is Gollum.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. That's an actual morally gray character.
Yeah.
Very true.
Well, he's literally gray, but I would say
Yeah.
he's very much straight up evil.
Physically,
Yeah.
Well,
He does murder someone.
He's not being
Yeah.
evil for evil's sake, though. He is purely selfish, and he just he's out for his own
Which
motives.
is
Or he's
pretty,
not.
but you've got,
Yeah,
you've got
that's
the
pretty
whole Smeagol kind of duality there that kind of he almost kind of helps for a bit, and especially the way it's portrayed in the films, where he starts out kind of going good, but then falls in the end. Anyway, but yeah,
But for the most part, I mean, but yeah, that's a good point, Jared, because even within the character himself, he's fluctuating between good and evil, right? He's struggling with that.
That's the problem with morally gray in general. It's not real. It's not.
Right.
Morality is not gray. Like you can. The only reason it exists is because of the trope where you have a character with morals and they're presented with a trolley problem. Right? And having to choose between two evils doesn't mean that the character's morally gray. It means that they're in a situation where neither outcome is good.
yeah,
Right? And so like yes, and typically in like the D&D like the character alignment charts, a character like Gollum would fall in the morally gray category because typically morally evil is portrayed as actively spreading evil, and since Gollum is selfish and he does evil things but only for his own gain, that counts as morally gray. Like Albelio said, that's still evil.
Yeah.
That's literally Levian Satanism. It's worship of self, thinking that you are more important. So just because you're not actively promoting evil,
yeah.
it's still morally gray is not a thing.
think the other example of something that I think could fit into that would be something like a Punisher or someone like that, where they do the bad things for the
Anti-hero
right
type.
reason, or the good things for the wrong reasons, or something like that. But we're not getting any of that in Lord of the Rings at all. And I love Gadfly's position here.
All we're getting in Rings of Power is characters who are doing blatantly evil and awful and terrible and stupid decisions and thinking, justifying themselves that they are correct and right, and the showrunners think the same thing.
And they're taking that idea that like every villain is the hero of his own story, or like that they think they're doing right, or a lot of villains think they're doing the right thing, but they might be doing the wrong thing. They're taking that to be,
and I know
their morality,
Yeah, and
Anatar
is fine. I guess you can make that, that kind of character in someone like Anatar, but Sauron is the pure embodiment of evil. You cannot make Sauron good. He's not a misunderstood villain.
Well, he's evil's
villain.
He's evil's evil stepson. So.
Right.
Still,
sure.
We took
I mean,
over.
we're going to be technical about it,
Everything is subjective. I know I'm going to sound like a broken record, but you can't write good and evil if you don't believe in it.
Yeah.
And these people and Hollywood has no morals. They can't write about it.
Yeah.
Maybe they're trying to copy Game of Thrones or House of Power, because that actually was a good show that actually had success.
Yeah.
They don't know how to do it, and even the guys from the House of Dragon, maybe they overdid it. Sometimes, like the great character stuff.
I'd even contend.
Yeah.
I even contend that's not gray morality either. Like, you can easily pick out the good characters in Game of Thrones because they die. And they are starkly good and no pun intended. That one was honestly completely by accident.
Yeah.
Ooh, that turned out so good.
Yeah.
You should be sick more
Jamie Lannister
I should be sick more often.
Like Jamie Lannister, for example, like I think that's a morally great character because
no, Jamie Lannister's evil.
Yeah.
He's 100% evil, and he's trying to change. That's okay.
Yeah. Well, maybe they're just complex characters,
He starts off by trying to kill a kid. That's evil.
Yes,
Well,
there's a difference between being likable and being morally gray, right? Like, there aren't any good characters in House of the Dragon, and that's fine. Everyone's bad, everyone's selfish, everyone's evil. That's not morally gray. That's just an interesting world where everyone's bad.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter because everyone's going to die in 2 seasons. Like, everyone should be dead by next season.
Literally everyone's going to die.
But yeah.
Yeah. I hate morally gray. It's not a thing. It's made up.
Yeah. There's complex characters, either villains or good, heroes.
Did you guys see the big scene that they're promoting though?
I have not.
Elrond. I don't think I can. They've been copyright striking everything.
Yeah.
But also the act. You should go watch it. The acting is terrible.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
They finally released a full screen version of the scene. It's
I haven't seen that one. I saw the other one with Sauron and Anatar.
Oh, I might have missed that one. It's Gil-galad trying to get Elrond to give him the rings. I don't know why Elrond has all 3 of them, but Elrond has them, and he doesn't want to give them to Gil-galad because he thinks that they're evil, and Gil-galad thinks that they need them. And all of this is stupid because they shouldn't exist yet. They were the last rings to be made. Anyway, and they knew from the get-go, we can't put these on until after Sauron loses his ring.
Yeah.
It's so backwards. You need to watch
that
my
because
video.
that guy Elrond he's a good actor. I think he was in Game of Thrones or something like that. I don't remember.
There's a great line in here. Give me the rings. They're too dangerous. You have to give me the rings. It is a risk we must chance to take.
Why do they keep doing that?
It is a risk we must risk to risk.
Why do they did the same thing season 1? They don't learn. They don't know how to write. They did the exact same thing season 1 with every response. It has to be like like profound BS response that makes no sense and is usually just repetitive.
Yeah,
Like,
they
why
don't
do
know.
rocks
They
float?
don't know
Or-
how to do this kind of writing. It's really bad.
There's also a repetitive concept from the first season, but is it interesting to anyone else that Gilgalad looks much more like an Elrond character than Elrond?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why they did the
Everyone looks like a lesbian
1950s
from
haircut.
Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a
Short,
40-year-old lesbo from Los Angeles.
short, short blonde hair there versus long black hair. And who's Elrond? Wait.
Okay. The best part of it, though, he says, "Give me the rings. It is a command." And then he goes, "We gotta watch the rest of it." Oh wait, there's no sound. It's okay. You don't need sound. He goes, "I can't do it. I can't do it." This is great.
I know I cannot.
This is great. This is the best part. The best part of the whole show. He goes, "Wee."
Oh boy.
Why is she saying
Yeah,
elbow?
go on.
No, like what does she mean? It's an elf. It's
Jump, yeah.
not a human. Like he's gonna survive, obviously.
Well,
Yeah.
elves
Well,
are
still die.
immortal, but they live forever. But they won't die of old age, but they can
They're
be killed.
damageable.
Yeah.
No, but they are more. Is stronger, but they are stronger. Than
Yeah, he
I
could
mean,
still die from something like that. But
It's the definition of purple prose. Yeah, I haven't heard that term, but of course,
Oh, yeah, it's a-
Gadfly fiction
it's
fiction would bring it up.
yeah,
I mean, no,
Google
you're wrong.
power
He cannot
language.
die from that because he's Elrond.
Please, but go you got to go watch the scene. It's what's happening is stupid, but the acting is what really
Yeah.
sells it.
It's similar thing to the other
Fugitive,
scene
but
that they. Oh, I love the Fugitive, man.
What was I making fun of? We talked about the Fugitive before, but as we were talking about a different show, and I said they should.
It was the
Acolyte. It was the
The
Acolyte.
Should have been the Fugitive.
I was like, yeah, the
mistaken
seriously,
identity.
they
Yeah.
set up like it would have been so much more interesting if it was the Fugitive in space,
Yeah.
and then they undo that interesting storytelling in 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous. Everything is all contrived, and the
And
mysteries that they've set up are just automatically resolved with plot contrivances.
Yeah.
but I love how they
Um,
try to make her look more relatable by putting lipstick.
Yeah.
And that's totally the, like they put some blush. How do you
Yeah.
call it? I think that
Yeah, blush.
Blush.
You got it.
Rouge.
That's blush. Rouge.
Yeah, blush. That is useless. Like that is the one of the most useless things that humanity has ever invented. But whatever. And they put lipstick on her, and that's it. Like now she looks less
She's
less of a pain in the. And they
she's
keep removing her mole. They keep making it like with makeup. They like she's.
what
she's-
mole? What are you talking about? She doesn't have a mole.
I have a mole?
It was on the other side.
Yeah,
Oh gosh, I need to watch Robin Hood Men in Tights again. So good.
such a good movie.
So, she's like even in this like posed up thing, like she's the definition of resting bee face.
face.
She
Yeah.
looks like
She
she
has
should be
AIDS.
interviewing Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, right.
Okay, yeah, no, she definitely looks like
Right?
mhm,
She kind of looks like Bella Ramsey.
Starling there. Yeah.
That is not a compliment to Bella Ramsey.
Yeah.
David, you sent me this one, right? I don't think.
Um,
Oh no, I sent this.
I don't.
Yeah,
know.
yeah. So sorry, I forgot what they don't put the title at the beginning anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rings of Power star Morford Clark says, "I don't think I'm made for Hollywood."
No kidding. We don't either.
I was gonna say, like,
I was shocked about this one.
I'm pretty sure that she had to be reading or hearing about all the criticism she received because it weighed on her. You can see that she looks older, and it's only been 1 year, 1.5 years, or whatever.
Yeah,
She's older. Physically, she aged.
she did.
Yeah. What did she say? Why is she saying she doesn't?
I don't
belong in
know.
Hollywood?
Because she doesn't think that she's okay with, like, she doesn't want to be in the paparazzi. She doesn't want to be in the big, glamorous thing.
Oh, it couldn't possibly be because you're not good at acting.
Yeah. I mean, nobody cares about her. Like, I've never seen a picture of a paparazzi. Never seen a picture of a paparazzi of that girl ever. And I was following the rings of power pretty harsh.
it's because
They're
she's not
good.
ready for the backlash. You can't do
Yeah.
that. So I'm not made for Hollywood because every single person in Hollywood receives backlash. Oh wait, no, it's just the people who are bad at their jobs.
Yeah.
This still pisses me off that she's fisting the.
The bowstring.
Like, okay, in my video, there's a point I didn't bring up. Aside from it's really easy to hurt yourself, even if you manage to, release the bow, when you grip it that way, you're not going to get to shoot accurately because your finger is the arrow is going to hit your finger, and it's not going to fly straight.
The arrow's going to hit your finger, and you're also rolling the bowstring.
Mm-hmm.
And pulling it out of alignment.
There's so
Oh,
much
you're
wrong.
right.
It's not even like, oh, this is an advanced sword technique. He parried when he should have thrusted, and this and that. And if you know the science, this isn't like
this is like one of the number one things they tell you when you shoot a bow.
If you've ever in your life picked up a bow, it's the only thing they'll tell you is, don't grip the string.
Yeah,
you're not pulling on.
Don't put it all the way against your arm and face. There,
all you do is you hold it with the tips of your fingers, unless you use all the modern stuff and you have the releases. Right? We're not talking about compound bows. Whatever. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Yeah, in season 1 when
maybe she can become a YouTuber.
Yeah, they not only CGI the bow, they not only CGI the arrows, they CGI the bow because the guy didn't know how to grip it correctly, I guess. Or they had the strength because he was a CGI bow.
I've never seen her smile. And the one time she smiled in the TV show, it was awful.
Oh, yeah, when she's riding the horse.
Riding the horse, yep.
Oh, I remember. She doesn't know how to smile.
I'm told this is what smiling looks like.
She was trying to smile, but then she was like wrinkling her nose like she was smelling a dirty diaper or something.
She looks like she just gassed all of Gotham.
Exactly, right?
She does look like Jared Leto, doesn't she?
I genuinely think that she hates humanity and wants us all extinct. By her face, I can tell.
This is the article you sent me, David. Inside the Snow White cast drama, as Rachel Ziegler locks horns with Gal Gadot on the Disney remake, who will be crowned the fairest of them all? Gal Gadot.
I have no idea who on God's green earth thought that Rachel Ziegler would make Gal Gadot jealous.
Yeah.
She looks like a thumb.
Exactly. Like they didn't even do any makeup or anything on Gal Gadot to give her like a witch nose or come on. Honestly, even with the witch nose,
the haircut really doesn't.
The hair is the worst part for me. Yeah. I think that Rachel Ziegler is pretty enough. And
look, like they tried to make Gal Gadot. They didn't put ugly makeup on her, but they tried to make her look sinister, and they just turned her into a goth mom.
Yeah,
it's only helping, right? Like
she was a model, like she maybe the Israeli billionaire. Like what do you expect? Like she's not gonna be ugly.
Anyway,
what's their off-screen?
I don't know. Was there anything important in the article, or was just the headline that was stupid?
Oh yeah, it is substantial, bro.
You gave me something to read.
No. You can just scroll through and read the tweets that she put out. So basically,
read the tweets.
The issue is Rachel Ziegler.
She
that's the one. So.
Thank you.
Saying, thank you so much for being in the show. We're so grateful.
Free Palestine.
And remember, free Palestine. Okay.
She, her, hers.
She used her.
There we go.
Yeah. No, she used her platform, to and her popularity with this show to, push her political agenda, and then her co-star, of course, is Israeli.
I forgot about that.
So go down to her response is just it's so good.
Wait, Gal Gadot, she reposted it? Trying to campaign on the head of your co-star who actually lives through war. just so you look cooler with the kids is really pathetic. Wow.
Yeah.
They've got public
That's-
beef.
Right?
That's
Like,
like,
we need a
that's
movie.
that's
Let's just
hard
retweet. Let's just
down
watch
there,
the
yeah.
tweets.
She
This
was
is-
actually on war. Like she fought with the IDF. Like she was
Yes.
part of the IDF.
Granted, everyone serves in the IDF there. It's not like she chose
Right.
to, but
Yeah, yeah.
but still, they're at war all the time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So she definitely saw some form of action, because the mainstream media doesn't tell you this, but the state of Israel has shrunk. What is it? I believe the statistic is it has shrunk 80%
Yeah.
since the 80s.
Yeah. So
I'm
like
probably off. It's probably more like 70.
it's pretty close. So
Sure.
like every one
They
for,
keep
like, every
giving
major,
land to the Palestinians.
Palestinians. Yeah, so
Palestinians,
each
yeah.
one of their each one of the like ends of these wars that have happened for like every
Yeah.
other decade, Israel has given up its land to Palestine, and
And
somehow-
they keep getting bombed.
yeah, and somehow Palestine is the open air prison. Yeah, I can't.
It's
take any of
literally that somehow Palpatine returned.
Hey, look, I don't agree.
Somehow
We-
Palestine returned.
People bombing children. You know, like I don't like that. Like
Somehow all of that Iranian money turned into bombs.
exactly.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's the gist of the beef. I think Rachel Zegler came back several.
Did she
other
clap
times.
back? Did she clap back?
I don't remember what she said, but yeah, that's she might not have.
I think that tweet cured my sickness. Like I am.
Hold on. Can you scroll up real fast, Max? Just a little bit. There's a close up of Rachel Zegler.
Oh god.
Oh God.
I mean, in most everything else, I actually do think that Rachel Zegler's pretty enough. But yeah,
It's pretty enough
It does
for
not
a
look
foot.
good.
Bro, if I put a wig, I'm hotter
It's-
than her.
It's literally it's
Let's joke around.
the
I don't
hair,
think she's
That
unattractive.
hair is
but
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
definitely
the
not.
haircut. It's literally
So
a
white.
ball sack hanging from her head.
Yeah.
No, it is-
Like
it is
it's
She looks
mean-
like a crock with nuts.
Yeah, okay, but I mean, they're trying to stick to the original animation.
then why isn't she white, Jared?
I know, but
But
like all of this, like even the costume.
It's in her name.
No,
But
if you look at the
the other
original,
problem is, though, actually
her hair is
look-
a lot longer in the original.
Yeah, actually look at the
right there.
animated
Yeah,
hair.
go get
down.
it.
It does
I
look
agree.
way different. It looks like it looks like they're trying to reference that hair, like or some sort of old style of hair, but then it's
It's
not.
still short though.
Look.
It's
No,
still
but
short. Yeah, the short's not
It's
there.
short,
Yeah.
but then it goes down.
Look
no,
at the
it's
style
short
of that
because
hair.
it's
That
like
is
it's like
so
up.
different.
It's like in a bun almost, right? Like it's.
It's so
Yeah,
different. Like,
I-
again, I see that they were trying to go for an old style of hair, like trying
Yeah.
to
What they're going for, but
Sure.
it
no.
doesn't work on a human unless you put CGI on it.
Yeah, it is kind of funny looking animated for sure. But it,
Well,
see,
yeah,
look
but
at
again,
that
it's-
one right there. Your mouse is on.
Which
No,
one?
animated is
Well,
perfect.
different.
It's something that
Right there.
was probably popular in the time.
See, they're ending it right where the first
Yeah.
thing is. It's supposed to go down.
There's
again in the
there's
back.
another ball sack,
Doesn't.
guys. There's two. There's
They definitely missed the mark. I'm just saying.
You can't just go-
They're trying to do it.
I
It
can see
gives
what
no
they
way.
were-
everyone knows that one hangs a little bit lower than the other.
Wow. This definitely took a turn for the worst.
Hey,
I mean, is that not what it looks like?
Well, like what it makes me think of is the like you think of I'm trying to think of an example, but like some of those old like sword and sorcery like movies, like maybe even a Knight's Tale or something like that. Some dumpy little page, and it's the dude with the hair that kind of comes down like that too. Like that's all I can think of when I see that.
See, they did the opposite for this production, though. They tried to make Rachel Zegler look hot. That's what it is. It's Prince Valium. Thank you, Justin.
yes.
That is what it is.
That's so true.
oh man,
Great. Now every time I watch Spaceballs,
Yes.
I'm going to see Rachel Zegler.
That's it.
no.
It's basically that. I've seen that look on a handful of different like medieval page looking things. Yeah, Prince Valium from Spaceballs.
Or,
That's exactly
or,
the hairstyle she looks.
the Shrek Lord Farquaad has a haircut like that, but again, it's
his is more straight. Yeah.
Oh my! She has the Farquaad chin.
Yeah.
Yes, she is. Lord
We're ruining better movies.
Yeah, that's
true.
It's I don't think she's ugly, but she's not like drop dead gorgeous, and it's the eyes for me. I can't. I'd like to
no Gal Gadot. That's
compared to the average Latina.
And she's not white.
Definitely ugly.
Okay, I'm not as judgy as Albelio. I don't think she looks like a thumb, although she does kind of remind me of the Thumb Wars movies, right? Because her eyes are so far apart, you know.
She kind of looks like an Oompa Loompa. Remember that guy from that movie that all the Oompa Loompas look like him? She kind of looks like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like her forehead is, like, I don't know, the proportion of her forehead and the rest of her face. It's kind of odd. It's like a thumb. Like I kind of agree with you, Albio.
She's got a billboard for a forehead.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, does anyone else notice that it looks like she recently shaved the unibrow?
Oh,
she definitely did her eyebrows. Let me tell you, yeah, she did.
That is the Golden State Bridge. I do not understand how they think that Rachel Zegler in any way compares to Wonder Woman.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wonder Woman is wowza. And she has charisma. She cannot act for crap, but she at least has charisma.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, she's a walking 2x4 with acting, but at least she looks good. I don't know what the hell they're thinking.
I don't know.
And the acting never even bothered me that much because like Wonder Woman doesn't need to do a whole lot of acting.
And she's hot.
Hello, no.
Like, that part was weird. Yeah.
That was really funny. Like, I loved it. I cannot stop laughing whenever she opens her mouth.
In her first solo movie, like I don't know, it was fine.
Her first solo movie was really good because she was acting like a fish out of water, so it didn't matter if she acted bad.
That's true. That did help.
Mm-hmm. And it was greatly. I think it was greatly directed by that Patty whatever.
This one surprised me, but Michael Keaton said he didn't want screen time in Beetlejuice 2, which it is good, right? Like most of Beetlejuice isn't about him. Right, it's about their journey through in like the whatever that world is called. Is it the underworld?
He's the main instigator of their troubles, but
you could totally see. Oh, we're bringing him back. He's going to be in the whole thing. So I like this, but the next part is they change. Yeah, he didn't want the character to be made politically correct, and I like Michael Keaton even more now.
Yeah,
he's like, I'm not going to dull down the character just because it's made in a different time.
As I read it, it seems like he made the character non-binary. I don't know about you guys.
No, he's a force. He's not.
Oh, he's something.
Yeah,
he's an item.
Right. Yeah. That's not what he was saying. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I think the original Beetlejuice is overrated.
I'm not a big fan. I think it looks visually cool. I think the story is pretty dumb. I think it
under-delivered in many different ways. It's definitely a cult classic. People love the movie. I thought it was all right.
I don't understand why people like the dancing scene.
I hate that. I hate that one. That's like, I don't understand. It's just stupid.
I think it visually looks fantastic. I've never loved Beetlejuice. I'm kind of excited for Beetlejuice too.
Yeah.
So. Maybe you have to be high to enjoy Beetlejuice.
Maybe. Well, it's kind of like I'm kind of hoping this does to Beetlejuice what Dr. Sleep did to The Shining, right? I thought The Shining is another movie that was fine, but kind of didn't really explain a whole lot and didn't really live up to the hype. But Dr. Sleep, after watching Dr. Sleep, was like, holy crap, that makes The Shining so much better. So
you didn't like The Shining?
I've never watched The Shining.
Not really. I thought it was okay, but it didn't really explain anything about what it meant to shine and what the connection was. And I thought that Doctor Sleep brought it full circle and just made it that much better. Like I said, it was fine. I liked Beetlejuice. I liked The Shining. It just wasn't up. It didn't live up to the hype that everybody.
I
worshipped.
like Doctor Sleep a lot more than most people do. But I also liked The Shining. So that's a weird take.
Got a bad take in the comics there. Doctor Sleep was.
A lot of people did not like it, and I don't.
Yeah,
I never really. I don't really understand that one. I thought it was a pretty good movie.
Yeah. I've mostly heard.
I haven't watched
Yeah.
The Shining. I haven't watched Beetlejuice. I haven't watched. I don't know. Mention another
Yeah, that was the point.
basic American movies. Yeah.
I don't remember this one. Was this one you sent me or?
Oh yes.
Batman the Cape. Well, yeah, Batman gender flopped the Penguin because
A lot of characters.
Okay.
Batman had a lack
They
of good
gender
villains.
swapped a whole bunch of characters, not just the Penguin. Like they're
Right.
all gender swapped except for Batman, and the reason is Batman had a lack of good villains.
Yeah.
Hmm.
If you ask anybody,
Weird.
Batman and Spider-Man have the
Rogues gallery.
greatest rogues gallery in all of
all time.
comic.
The only one people
There-
say
there
that
is
is gonna
no one
dumb
that
is the freezing one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, especially in the movie, but in other material.
Right. Yeah, they gender swapped Mr. Freeze into Mrs. Freeze in the Suicide Squad
Yeah.
movie or something like that. But yeah, like that's never something that has ever been said about Batman is he has a lack of good villains.
Yeah.
And it's weird too. It looks like they're trying to say that he has so many good villains that we can flip a few of them because most of them are male. And we wanted a few female ones. But
I wouldn't even argue
That's
that.
not what they're saying.
Yeah,
That's
weird.
essentially what it turned into. Yeah, but he was just like, I was just trying to troubleshoot because he just has such a lack of good villains and we need
I'll be
more
back.
female villains. And then I just realized, what if we just gender swapped them? And then I got a whole bunch of amazing ideas, and the brain juices started flowing, and I got so much inspiration. I'm like, shut up. Batman is amazing.
Women, if you say
has
that
the
women
best
are
villains.
like more like they become more conflict. No, what is the word? They engage in more conflict than men.
Well, see, like the headline
It's
here really
different
screws with you because it
conflict,
says Batman. They flip Penguin as Batman had a lack of good villains.
Yeah.
So they're emphasizing that the only way to be a good villain is to be female.
Right.
That's exactly what he said. Yeah.
So
And
so
would
kind of
argue-
based.
Women are awful. They are the real villains. That's what this guy's saying. Obviously.
Yeah.
Exactly. Which
Exactly.
kind of goes along with our last little fun tweet.
Poison
It's,
Ivy is a freaking. Okay, quick side note: Poison Ivy is also one of the best Batman villains. Not just Batman villains, but one of the best villains of all time. And I hate how modern culture is trying to turn her into a hero now.
And a lesbian.
Well, yeah, that too. But yeah, it's so freaking disgusting. I was in some forums about this new.
I
Batman
hated
game.
it.
The Harley
by the
Quinn
way.
show.
Like, oh, let us play as Poison Ivy as a hero. I'm like, she's not a hero. She's a freaking villain. Shut up. Anyways,
So the Marvels was hated for, or Captain Marvel was hated for being too serious, and the other one was hated for not being serious enough. Just say y'all hate women. I'm so tired of arguing this. Fine, I hate women. Like what?
yeah,
It's the most
those were not the
disingenuous
arguments-
argument of all time.
Those were not the arguments that we were making.
No, no.
We were making the arguments that there was no character development, there was no interesting decisions to be made. The acting was terrible. The CGI was terrible in some cases. We weren't complaining that it wasn't serious or was too serious or crap. That
It was
nobody
awful.
said that. Nobody said that.
So I really take issue with the Captain Marvel argument there. She's too
Yeah.
serious. No, it's not that she's too serious. It's that they don't, just like how we discussed earlier that they don't understand morality, black and white.
Mhm.
The people who wrote for Captain Marvel do not understand stoicism.
Yes.
Right. No,
I don't think nobody in
They
Hollywood
think
understands
stoicism
stoicism,
means being
a jerk
mean.
to everyone else.
Right?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
flat-faced, stare off into the sunset, show no emotions, do nothing. It's like, no. Characters like Boromir and Aragorn, they are stoic.
Yeah.
But they don't understand like what makes stoicism and the accepting of knowledge and advice from others, and trying to keep things together, stay positive, etc., etc. And these guys just boil it over. They oversimplify the argument because, again, it's not about having an actual discussion. It's about pointing fingers and shunting responsibility. It just infuriates me. I made a whole video talking about like positive traits in male characters, and one of them is stoicism. And so to see them boil it down to that, just piss off.
Right.
Talking about that guy, Harvey, did you know that Gavin Newsom's wife had to go to court and describe this guy's penis form
Yes.
to the freaking judge?
Yes, I did know that.
I didn't know that, and I heard it recently in that Tim Dillon podcast, and I was just dying laughing to think.
Yes, because she has seen it.
Oh my god! Whatever.
And they needed
funny.
yes. They needed a reference. So they could tell which claims were true.
But that chick from the Acolyte was the assistant, right?
Harvey Weinstein was Leslie Headland was Harvey Weinstein's personal assistant.
Yeah.
She was the one
Director, screenwriter.
scheduling the women. She was the one finding them for him.
Yeah, she was the pimp, basically.
Yep.
She was the Ghislaine to his Jeffrey.
To his
yes,
Maxwell.
actually, yes.
That's exactly what she was.
That's hilarious, by the way.
But we hate women. We hate women so much. I mean,
They do hate women.
What-
I've never seen a lesbian hate women as much as that.
you want to know what pissed me off the most about the whole Harvey Weinstein thing in general? We had to. Aside obviously, women getting assaulted. That's awful.
Yeah.
That's the worst part. The second worst part is the fact that when it all came crashing down, everyone had to just collectively pretend that we didn't know what a casting couch was.
Yeah.
Like it hadn't been part of our zeitgeist, like in our vernacular for years. Because we'd been criticizing it for a very, very long time. And then all of a sudden, oh my, is that what he was doing? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that I think that's one of the moments where most people start living in a delusion. Like a complete, they made up a complete delusion that there was no such thing, and saying that, if you got drunk and you had, sex with a man or something like that, you know what I mean? I cannot say the word, but
Yeah.
that, right?
Right.
It's not that they have been doing that for years.
But they had the audacity, Hollywood had the audacity to tell us to believe all women, right? To tell us that we've created this grape culture. Hollywood invented it. They so hard that they created a dictionary term for when they do it. And they had the audacity to lecture us about it.
Yep.
And they forgot about it. Literally, they completely forgot about it when the DNC came and Bill Clinton is talking in front of all these young women screaming like crazy, when he was literally
Doing it in the White House, yeah.
Yeah, he was doing stuff against people without consent. I cannot say
Yes.
the word, but he is literally that.
Yeah.
Didn't he resign or something? No, he didn't.
No, he was impeached, and then it was thrown out by the Senate. So, well, it wasn't thrown out; it just wasn't followed up on.
Oh, he was thrown out, basically, right?
He was impeached by the House, but he didn't get impeached by the Senate, so he stayed in office.
Oh,
and they tried to.
Wasn't he the
Democrat's gonna Democrat.
senator? Never mind.
Hmm?
Oh my god, America is.
It's not. Remember, it's not harassment if you're a Democrat. So, aliens, alien movie,
Alien Romulus.
Alien Romulus.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna head out
I'm
because
gonna-
I haven't watched it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take off.
Go
as
back
well.
to watching the TV show. You're
So-
Ted Lasso is what you're watching.
So are we gonna talk any Silo afterwards, or
Yeah.
yeah, we'll talk Silo, but we got.
that's what I'm here for. I haven't watched any of the Alien movies.
We have a prestigious guest on, so we gotta do
All good,
Alien
all good.
first.
I haven't watched Silo either, so I'm gonna head out.
Silo was fun. I liked it. I've got
I know
problems.
the first couple episodes are pretty good.
Yeah.
I've
definitely
got
gonna
some
watch it.
problems now that I'm not done with the book, but I've got like 2 hours left on it, but I'm well past the TV show in the book.
Nice.
Um,
Anyway, we can
I've
do
got some
that
issues with
already,
Silo, but it was
already.
fun. I'm
All right,
excited for
have a
season
good
2.
discussion
Okay.
on Alien and Silo.
You're Abelio, you're a big Alien franchise fan?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just to give you context, I never watched these as a kid. So I have zero nostalgia coming in. Within the last, I want to say the last year, but it's probably the last like year and a half, maybe 2 years. I'm trying to remember when I first started. I watched all of them for the first time.
Oh, okay.
They were all on HBO, and I started going through and watching them, and then I was halfway through and they took them off, and I was like, no, I was just I was about to watch Alien Resurrection, and
That one's so screwy.
so I had to buy Alien Resurrection on Amazon.
Oh man.
No. So a few months later, it popped up on a different streaming service. I think I saw Resurrection on like Hulu, and then I watched Covenant on a different platform. And the one I ended up buying, it was on sale, and I had digital credits because my wife spends on Amazon like it's going out of business. And so I bought Alien Covenant digitally so I could watch that one. But it was like $2.
Okay. Yeah. Honestly, you overpaid by about 3, but
Yeah, that was the worst one for sure. But I love this franchise. It is an absolute blast, and we got a super chat. Mark Clark, $5. I've seen Alien and Aliens, so I feel like I've seen Alien Romulus. Yeah, you probably have.
Yep, basically.
It doesn't. Yeah, the story isn't really anything new. But I liked it, and Abelio didn't. So,
And let me clarify. As a fan, I enjoy the movie,
okay.
but that does not mean that I do not
It is
blast every problem.
Then I think we agree more than we disagree. Like it is not Alien Romulus is not beyond criticism, but I kept finding myself smiling in the theater. Like I was having a good time, and yeah, like there are plot holes. Absolutely.
Real quick, did you
next
watch
time
the
buy the
series
Blu-ray.
before Romulus, or did you watch Romulus first?
I watched. No, I after. So over the last 2 years, I was slowly watching all of the.
Gotcha.
I think it's more. I think it's a year and a half is when I first started. Right.
Sure.
Someone could probably fact check me and look up when they were on HBO or when they were removed, because apparently I started watching them right before they took them off. So yeah, I watched them all within the last like year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Loved Alien. I think Alien, I probably will get in trouble. I don't think it's beyond criticism. I think it's fantastic, but there is a segment like right before the big finale where it kind of just turns into the thing I hate the most in horror movies, where it's just, oh, he's behind you. Oh, he's behind, right? Like, and you can't track the villain's movements. It's like the teleporting villain thing. And it's kind of explained in this because he can move through the vents, right? He's an alien, right? But there's nothing engaging to me about a sequence, and this is why, like, I hate that the jailbreak episode from The Mandalorian that my brother loves, and he's gone, so I can criticize The Mandalorian, where the only choreography is guy walking down a hallway and turns around and the bad thing's behind him, and then you cut to a different person and he's behind him and he's behind him, and it's like that's the only thing. Like, that's all Aliens 3 was, right?
Yeah.
It's just there's no choreography to it. And a little teeny bit of that happened in the first Aliens movie. The rest of the movie's fantastic. Like, super moody, super dark. It looks phenomenal. And the characters are all fantastic. Loved Alien. Aliens 2 completely changes the genre, and it somehow still works.
It's what I like most about Aliens is that it does what a lot of
sequels are scared to do.
Yeah, but it does what a lot of video game sequels probably should do more of. Is it goes to reset itself and be its own thing without trying to just, because I was going to bring up this point in. There's a discussion that I want to do. Oh, well, actually, no, I take it back. I already touched on this point earlier in the review that I did, because I mentioned at one point that the reason Predator 2, Aliens, and Terminator 2 work is because while they do many of the same things, they have so many different or unique ways of doing those same sequences that it stands apart. Not that there aren't enough differences, because I mentioned in this one, so with Romulus as an example, it's like you had in Alien Romulus you have the zero gravity acid in the hive, and that's a cool little scene because it's never happened in any of the movies.
Best part of the movie.
Cool, great, awesome. It works for what it is, but and there's a detail that we can get into.
There's even problems with that scene though too. Like,
agreed, yes.
but when it tried to do something fun, and it was really fun, and using the gun to maneuver through.
Yes.
And it was a great setup and payoff. As soon as they go on the ship and there's a gravity well. Oh, well, this is obviously going to come back. And when it does, I was like, that was a really fun way to bring it back.
Yes. The just one of the examples would be, like, say, because in the extended edition of Alien, there's actually a different version of the hive. So the original version, because it was deleted initially, the original version of the hive is that the ovomorphs, the eggs, are actually not bred from a queen. The ovomorphs are a breakdown of the material of a living being. So Dallas, for example, after he's taken in the vent, Ripley finds him glued to the wall, and he is
turning into an egg.
And turning into an egg. And
interesting.
Brett already
kind of like that
one.
better.
Right? It fits the cosmic horror, but that was the original design for it. But because it was the deleted scene, you got the queen in Aliens, which totally works fine as well.
It's fine.
So,
yeah,
that kind of change between each of the sequels that I mentioned is why the change, despite repetition, is enough. It's when it gets monotonous, like Romulus, that you're like, I've seen all of this and know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Alien was good. Aliens 2, Aliens was also good. Alien 3, I really wanted to like it. Like, it did some really fun world building, and then, like, the meat of the potatoes was just so bad. Like, I've never wanted to like a movie more. I think ever. Like, it started off, ooh, this is moody. This is real. This could be really great. They're stuck in a prison and there's an alien, and then it was just the biggest letdown ever.
Yeah, I have a soft spot for 3 because of the sacrifices, and I also
the
really
ending's
love
great. Yeah, the you love who?
Brass. The music. I really love Brass. So
it has a good
soundtrack
score.
is great for that.
It has a good score, and the majority of the action in that movie is, oh no, it's behind me. There's got to be a term for it, right? The turn around and it's behind you now.
It's behind me, isn't it?
It's behind, yeah. That's it. There's like no interesting choreography, and it's just miserably dark, and none of the characters are particularly interesting either.
Doesn't help that they all look the same because of
they all look the same. They're all in prison, right? Could have been fantastic. Really didn't like it. I actually kind of dug Alien Resurrection. It's,
all right.
It's nowhere near 1 and 2. Doesn't even hold a candle to it. But after having seen Aliens 3, Alien Resurrection was really fun. Okay, sorry. But the problem with 3 is, they kill off the characters off camera in between movies, which was such a dumb. If you want to kill them off in the movie, right? But like to kill them off screen, you don't, and people's, you can kill the girl. She was annoying, but the other character was awesome, right? So it's just so unsatisfying when that happens, and everyone was pissed off about it. And Alien 3's only redeeming quality is that Ridley sacrifices herself at the end. Like, that was awesome. Oh no, there's an alien in me. I'm gonna jump into a vat of lava. That was so good. And then I get the premise. I'm like, okay, what are they gonna do in the next Alien movie? And I read the tagline, they resurrect Ripley.
Yeah. Yep, they cloned her. Somehow.
Okay. So, as stupid as that is, the movie kind of makes it work, right? By giving her, like, crossing her genes with the like, she gets alien superpowers, and it was kind of fun to, like, have her, like, melting through things. She's got the acid blood.
Yeah.
It was a lot more lighthearted. It felt a lot more like Alien 2, right, than 3, and so it was kind of fun and hammy. I enjoyed it. And it like the scenes with, like, the bioengineering lab too had some really, really cool practical effects in there that just looked so gross, and they burn it down. There's a lot to like in Alien Resurrection. There's also, it's not great.
Oh,
it's not great, but I enjoyed myself the whole time. Right?
Yeah. So the just to explain the lightheartedness, originally it was the screenplay was originally penned by Joss Whedon.
Yes.
And this was at the height of Buffy. So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Who filmed that one? It doesn't matter.
Jean something, some French guy.
Also, Ron Perlman wasn't insufferable in it.
I really didn't like him.
I liked his character. He was kind of fun. And Winona Ryder was cool too. It was a fun movie. And then I know that this is definitely unpopular and will get me canceled, but I loved Prometheus.
Prometheus is either a love it or hate it kind of movie.
I thought it was fantastic. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. It was so ambitious and so different. We praise Alien 2 for trying, not being formulaic about it. Prometheus was like, it felt like a different franchise, and then all of a sudden, oh wait, no, this is an Alien movie, right? Which was kind of the point. Like, they didn't want you to know that it was a prequel. It's gorgeous. It was stunning. And probably cost way too much money, and it looked really cool, and I thought it set up some very interesting world building, and I really liked it. I mean, come on. The main character gives herself a C-section. To
Yeah.
That's great. That, like, talk about body horror. That's horrible. And to have a character, overcome that kind of stuff was just like so yummy. And then and then they that's the wrong word to use.
Yeah.
And then they're making Alien Covenant, and they're like, "Hey, I know what we should do. Remember the most hated move that the Alien franchise has ever made? Let's kill off the most interesting character off screen between movies. That will be great."
And not only that, but there's an extended scene between her and David that was available on YouTube.
Oh no.
Yeah, so like Covenant had a number of scenes, because I don't know if you caught it. James Franco is in Covenant.
Yes, I believe he was.
Yeah, because he's the guy who gets torched at the beginning.
Yeah.
So his character building, just like Shaw and David, their scenes were in short clips that popped up on YouTube, but were not included in the movie. So you had to watch on YouTube, completely unrelated to the movie, to be able to find out
that. Now I gotta go watch all that stuff.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, because they set up like all of the couples and everything for Covenant, and then by the time you get to the movie,
right,
because
they're off to a breeding planet, or
yeah, because you're like, who are any of these people? And then they all die, and you don't know their names, and you're
were. It could have been a really good movie. It had Guy Pearce in it. Or no, that was Prometheus, right?
No, Pierce plays.
He shows up for.
Yeah, he shows up in the beginning, because for some reason they kept that in the movie.
Right, like Michael Fassbender's robot is the best part of Prometheus too, right? And there, I wanted to like this one almost as much as Alien 3, but it was even worse. I think it's the worst one in the franchise.
It's usually the worst in the franchise is usually a juggle between Covenant, AVP Requiem.
Those don't count.
And Resurrection.
Alien vs. Predator, I saw that in theaters when I was 3. So the enemy of my enemy is my friend. It was a dumb movie, but I didn't see the second one. I've heard it's even worse.
You can't see the second one. It's so dark.
Yeah, Alien Covenant looks gorgeous, but and it still had some nuggets left and right of like, ooh, this is good, and just dropped the ball, just repeatedly dropped the ball left and right.
Hey, let's investigate a whole new alien planet that we don't know anything about without our masks on. It's like, that's even worse than Prometheus.
Yeah. That was silly stuff. I still would have liked to see a sequel, like to finish off the prequel trilogy, right? Because there are some gaps between that and Alien.
That's what Romulus was initially supposed to be. It was supposed to be like Alien Awakening, which was supposed to be the connection between Covenant and Alien, because it was supposed to explain how
interquel.
It was supposed to explain like how the engineer ship lands on LV-426, and hopefully explain why the engineer has a burst out rib cage, or
how, like, where that engineer even came from, because
exactly.
Like Prometheus and Covenant were supposed to explain that, and like that was the least explored part, where the engineers like you get like 2 flashback sequences and you're like, oh, this is cool, and we're just not going to explore that at all. It's all about these people I don't care too much about. Yeah, I think their biggest flaws in the most recent Alien movies is the characters. They're just they're not as developed as Alien 1 and 2. Like, you instantly know what each of those characters are, and I think the one girl in Prometheus comes close, right? The C-section herself lady, because even though she's clearly a Ripley knockoff, Shaw, that's her name, right? But she's clearly a Ripley knockoff, but she does so much that it's like, okay, like you've you've earned me caring about you, and so it pissed me off that she was killed off screen, right?
It pissed everybody off.
I guess Michael Fassbender's a robot character is great too, right? I don't remember any of the other characters from Prometheus or Covenant, and that's probably also Romulus's biggest flaw for me too. Aside from plot holes, none of the characters are particularly engaging, other than Robot Guy. Robot Guy's great. I loved his acting. He's the only character with a personality, right?
Down syndrome? I don't know why he was always so sad and pathetic.
I liked it. I think it was a robot that was once in its prime and hasn't been maintained, and so its circuits they don't have the money for upkeep, and it's a robot that's slowly breaking down. I think that's fun.
I'm fine with him being charitable and wanting to cheer people up. I just don't understand why it is that he was so timid. Like that, I didn't understand that.
You absolutely get it right in your video that the script doesn't have him do anything. Like the most of the time he's just standing around.
And to be fair, it's really all the characters. It's not just him.
Yeah, it's not him. It's even the main character. There's like nothing memorable about her. And she's probably characterized the most. She gets the most screen time, right? She just wants to get off the planet, but like we don't really know why.
It's interesting to me that
like what's so special about the planet she wants to get to, and why is it so much better than where you are?
Well, so
like show a picture. Hey, my parents showed me this place, and it has fields of green, and I want to get there.
Well, hold on, real quick. Did you have an issue understanding the characters in this movie in the theater?
I didn't have an issue understanding them because there wasn't anything to understand. There was main character who wants to go to a different planet. There was a robot that's breaking down. There were 5 other characters who are the main character's friends, and there was a pregnant lady.
Okay, I didn't communicate my point right.
Like their choices?
No. Could you physically hear and understand what they were saying?
Oh, no.
Okay, okay.
Sorry. No, I didn't have a problem with that. Sorry.
Okay.
Maybe that was a theater issue.
I could not understand any of these characters for the life of me, and like Bjorn, Tyler's brother, cousin in the movie, the bowl cut. I couldn't understand a word of what that dude said. Drove me insane. And I know that I haven't caught everything great in movies prior, but like I leaned over to my lady and I was like, "Do you understand them?" And she's like, "No."
That's been. I wonder if that was just like a theater issue, like the mixing or something.
Maybe,
but
I didn't get around.
Some of them did have some thick accents.
Yeah, I didn't get around to mentioning it because, like, for as much I rushed this video out. Like, I made it like the day I started.
It's long.
I started at like 8 a.m. the day before, and then I only had like a 4-hour sleep break, and then I got right back to work. And by the time it went live at 5, I had only finished it at like 11. So I did like a 24-hour straight run on this video, and I forgot to mention, like, the audio was just terribly mixed because I couldn't understand anybody.
Yeah, that's a good video.
Rook had that really bad robotic filter over him too, which
right, because they wanted to show him kind of breaking down, and it did make him hard. It was kind of hard to understand some of the things he said.
Yeah, and I feel like I missed quite a few details that I could have added, but it is what it is. Yeah. On the point of so I like Jackson's mining facility because it's cool that we got to see like everyday life in the Alien universe, because we never see it shy of the extended version of Aliens. But what blows my mind is that Aliens managed to have a much better, for almost the same length of time, opening that introduced you to all the characters, who they are, what they want to do.
Number 2 or 1? Sorry.
Aliens
Alien.
2.
Yeah, number 2 kind of opens up with a bunch of exposition.
Yeah, they managed to do all of that so much better, and with going to Ivaga, the planet that Rain wants to go to, it's because it's not under Wayland-Yutani control,
Yeah.
so they're free from the oppressive working conditions. But they just kind of skip right over like a bunch of other details. And it's like, hey, we're the friend group and we want to go with you. It's like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Great that we're only seeing you now.
Yeah, like not you didn't really care when any of them died because you didn't really know who they were. Like you absolutely get it right. The ex-boyfriend is that's it. He's the ex-boyfriend. That's his entire characterization.
Yeah. He's there to impersonate Pick for a scene.
Like the probably the best character out of the characters that you don't care about is pregnant lady, because her entire thing is I woke up and everything's just gone to garbage.
Yeah, because she wakes up and like, what's wrong, Navarro? And then and just like, ah.
She's definitely like the character you want to root for the most.
Yes.
And it would be so much easier to do if you knew anything about her. Like
exactly.
she gets one scene where she tells the main character she's pregnant, and that's it. That's literally it.
Yeah, and then she goes to sleep, and you're like,
she's like, "I'm pregnant. I'm gonna go to sleep now. Wake me up when the plot happens."
Yeah.
Which is kind of great, but like it would be like especially the scene that her character leads to, which is we can't open the door. She's going to die. No, we could save her. And I really liked that scene, 'cause, like it showed like the robot making the practical decision and not valuing human life over the objective, and I thought it was a really good scene, and I didn't care enough about the character on the other side of the glass, for that scene to be effective. That could have been brutal.
It could have been a lot more harsh than it was, but I think it really does screw with me that it came down to don't do anything until the plot says so.
Yeah.
Because remember the timing too. So they get to the door. She has already snuck down to the door and she's trying to get their attention. The alien has pulled the two bodies up and into the room.
Yeah.
It's not there, and they are at the door. They could easily have opened the door, shut it, and been gone. But he just stands back and does nothing because
I think the justification there is at that point he's under the corporate decision-making mode, right? And so it doesn't benefit the company to save the pregnant lady. Like it could be explained. It could have been done better as well. Shadow Master, you have no idea how much I like aliens. Like I haven't even gotten started about talking about raised by wolves, baby. I love a good robot character. Okay, robots are the best. The movie was far from perfect, but I just had a good time. I think it's the best looking Alien movie.
I agree.
Like better than 1 and 2. Prometheus and Covenant look fantastic, but they're also like too shiny. Right?
Yeah.
It kind of feels like they're in a different franchise because everything is just so grandiose and so clean.
It doesn't feel
it's almost a completely different aesthetic. And this completely captures the grungy, dirty, spaceship feel from Aliens 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Mixed with the absolute best modern effects work and practical. Like, this movie's gorgeous. Like this, every time it cut to outside, it's showing you the belt of the planet and the ship getting closer and closer.
Yes.
Like it looked so good.
That was another thing I failed to mention in my review is this movie's production budget was $80 million. And it looks so much better than most.
It's crazy to say, wow, that's a cheap budget.
You're right.
That is a lot of money, okay? It's just that budgets have ballooned out so much that is now a cheap budget.
Yeah, which is nuts because the original Aliens, so 2.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is with inflation, but the budget listed on IMDb is like $15 million.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's Godzilla -1 in '86, and it's like, wow, really? It looks that good, and they did all of those tricks, and somehow the face huggers look better.
That's probably about like 30 million now.
Probably.
If you just include inflation, if you include the inflation that also comes with the money laundering, that's now just a standard part of Hollywood, it would probably be like a $50 million budget.
But to still look that good for what it is at $50 million.
Yeah. The fact that people haven't figured out that modern Hollywood budgets are literally just money laundering now, like,
yeah,
it couldn't be more obvious.
Yeah, the one thing that I really
we already know they do it with paintings, guys. This is just a whole bunch of paintings.
Yeah, where the CGI really failed was Rook.
Yeah.
He looks awful.
Yeah, I get the criticism of that. It didn't bother me a whole lot because he is like this malfunctioning robot, and so the inadequacies in the CGI, which are definitely there, kind of work for the character with his face looking weird. Definitely could have been better. This is more of a love fest. Yeah, I really love the Aliens franchise. It's and I'm new to it, but it's a really good aesthetic. And I'm a sucker for practical effects, and this movie practical effects out of the wazoo.
Also, Mark, we have not I haven't really
yeah, we haven't addressed there's problems, okay? Let's get the good out first. I loved the gross face hugger, the sexual assault face hugger was great.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they managed. I like how I did like how they managed to make them feel more, grapey.
Yeah,
which is goofy considering they're basically doing the same thing in every movie. But I really hate that they also did nothing unless the plot said so.
Yeah, there was a bit of that. Yeah, they're just waiting in the room, and it led to an interesting scene of like, hey, let's turn up the heat, right? Like that was a good exploration. But you're right, like opening the door is a problem. I guess they could have changed the temperature on the other side of the door in both rooms. But yeah, it's not super. They set up interesting world building that they weren't super consistent with, right? Because the characters were also making sound.
Yeah, because Rain walks into the dead body that's hanging, and she goes, "Ah!" And they just stare and look at her, and they're like, "Nope, wasn't loud enough. We're not going to kill her. We're not Death Angels."
I guess that one doesn't count. Yes, yeah, that was probably the weakest part of the movie for me. And then it just turns into run. You're like, yeah, you could have started with that. I don't know.
Yeah, but they also threw the flare. Because when they're running down the hallway, Tyler sparks a flare and chucks it aside, and they all run to it. They all gun for the flare, and it's like, if you could have done that the whole time, that
was poor execution for sure, for an idea that was so interesting. That scene could have been very tense, and I think a lot of the problem with that is in the editing too. You set up this thing where, hey, we have to go quiet through this room, and you keep cutting away from it. Like if any scene needed like a one shot, or just a scene that just holds for way too long, it would have been right there.
Yeah, because they keep jumping over to Kay and Bjorn, and got words for that one, but later. But yeah, no, they
Like that's a scene that if you want to build tension, that's a scene you hold on, right? You just show them trying to not make sound through this room. Could have been could have been explored much better.
Yeah, unless it's something parallel that's going to match up immediately after for a reason, and not just, oh look, Kay woke up. It's like they could have had the whole scene where the facehuggers chase after and they get away, and then it's like, okay, let's make our way to the hangar, and then from there it cuts and you focus on Kay and Bjorn waking up, attacking the cocoon, and then when she gets to the door, that's when they meet up.
Yeah. So the Alien TV show, for a quick diversion, I've heard that that's supposed to be a prequel series that happens before even Prometheus.
To my knowledge, because I believe it was originally supposed to air on like FX, and
it's on like HBO.
Wherever.
FX. Sorry, Hulu. I meant to say Hulu.
Okay,
it's FX and Hulu. Yeah.
It's supposed to take place on Earth, and
it's called Alien Earth. Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be aliens on Earth,
which doesn't make sense because
never happened.
Well, yeah, but Prometheus and Covenant set up the fact that the alien, the xenomorph that we know, was essentially created by David, right? Like we started off with the proto-molecule. That's the wrong thing. That's the Expanse. What's the proto-molecule in this one?
Oh,
the black mutagen.
Yeah.
The black goo stuff, right? Like David takes that, and that was the entire plot of Covenant. Was he does 100 iterations on that to try and create the perfect being, which is his xenomorph. So how does Alien Earth exist? Are we just retconning Prometheus and Covenant?
I would assume they're going to completely ignore everything in the Alien timeline.
Why would you do Alien Earth? If you want to do Alien Earth, do Alien 4 or 5. Isn't that what 4 was setting up? Hey, we're finally getting aliens on Earth now?
Yeah, that was supposed to be that was an alternate ending, is the ship crash lands and potentially xenomorphs are on Earth. But that's the 24th century, and we're still in the 22nd. So it's like 250
I have no idea
years in the future.
I have no idea what this TV show is going to be. I'm going to watch it for sure.
I can tell you it's going to be bad.
You think so?
I don't trust anybody with the Alien. I don't trust Ridley Scott with Alien at this point. You kidding?
You're kind of right. What else was Fed Alvarez? People liked. He did the Evil Dead remake.
Evil Dead remake, and he did Don't Breathe, which this movie basically is.
Yeah.
So the premise of Don't Breathe is a bunch of people break into
a blind
house
guy
and deal with a blind guy. Yeah. And well, hey, look, a bunch of young idiots break into a space station. It's Don't Breathe in space, but it's aliens. So
yeah,
and that really frustrated me.
I think the plot is fine. I don't think you need more plot than what Alien Romulus has to make an interesting Alien movie. They set up a good countdown. They give these characters a good reason for for needing to be there. Like, it's not just, hey, let's go down to the alien planet. Like, what's the justification in Alien 2?
For returning to
LV-426? Yeah, what were they trying to get?
The justification is that they go to LV-426 because they are trying to Ripley did the debrief in the beginning of Aliens,
and this is the same planet where they found the egg in Alien 1, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So they have Hadley's Hope, which is the station on LV-426 because of the atmospheric processor. They're terraforming the planet, and they lost communications with the colony. And so because Ripley is here and she's like, yeah, there's a ship and there's eggs and there's aliens, and oh no,
you don't want to go there.
You don't want to go there. So she's brought along because she's supposed to be an advisor, and so they send the colonial marines as insurance in case things go sideways. Well, it turns out everything did.
Got it. So it's about the same justification as Jurassic Park 2.
Oh, yeah, basically.
Why would you go back to the island?
Yeah, all the dinosaurs that destroyed this entire station and ate all these people. Let's bring them here.
But yeah, this one gives a reason. Hey, we need to get in and out, and they don't know that it's a bad place, right? They're like, hey, we need to get in and out. We need to get this thing so we can go on our way. I think it's fine.
Yeah,
It's a
fine.
fun countdown. I don't think you need more plot than that. Like plot wise, I think it's fine. I think the flaws of this movie are there's no character work, and they try to establish lore that they're not consistent with.
Yeah, so one of the strengths of Alien was that so they end up going to the planet LV-426 because they heard a distress signal, which was actually a warning.
Yeah.
But they make the diversion because I would assume you caught these details, that Ash was replaced as a crew member on the Nostromo.
It's been a long so that's it's been a long time. I need to rewatch Alien.
Okay. So I'll bullet point it.
You're doing good.
Ash, the synthetic that betrays all of them, was
Rook.
Yes, basically. He was, and this is Alien I'm talking about.
Yes.
He was put onto the manifest for the crew like 9 days before their trip. So one of the strengths of Alien is that Alien is written to give the detail that the company knows about the aliens, or at least it hints heavily.
Yes.
And so when Ash, like when the chest burster comes out and Parker's about to kill it, and Ash is like, no, don't. And you're like, why protect this thing that just killed Kane? Exactly. So the idea is that they already know about this.
Yeah.
And so when you get to Aliens, which is 57 years later, Hadley's Hope is on the planet. So they've already sent a colony of people out there, and it is, it's supposed, theoretically the company not only knows about the aliens and the ship there, but they also sent the people there as a way to maybe make more.
Yes.
There's a whole lot like behind the scenes that the story hints at.
Yes.
Romulus just repeats a lot of the things that we've already seen, and also pulls information that they probably shouldn't have any knowledge of. And it doesn't, like, a lot of it doesn't make any sense. Like, for example, the mutagen, I don't know how they pulled the mutagen from the xenomorph.
Yep, I don't know.
So they pulled the mutagen, and then not only did they manage to find out that it's the same like coded DNA stuff, the goo, but then they also managed to perfectly replicate it. This is supposed to be something that's way more advanced beyond anything we have, and they somehow did it and cloned the xenomorph.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if they were saying it was a perfect replication. I think they were trying to mutate it into something, right? They were trying to turn it into what we saw at the end of Romulus. We get the Slender Man.
It basically was.
I thought that was so fun. I loved Slender Man. Okay. It's silly that he grows to full size as fast as he does. That's also been a problem with the entire Alien franchise. I think these things grow a little bit too fast, and I think there'd be more tension.
Everything post 3 is a hot pocket.
If it took longer than 2 seconds for between a face hugger and a chest burst, right? I think that should take like an hour minimum before you get a chest burster.
Well, the gestation period is supposed to be between 12 to 24 hours, or 16 to 24. It's something like that. So It's like things happen, and then your characters can develop, and then out of nowhere the horror happens.
This isn't the first movie where they've broken that timeline, though.
Everything after 3 is inconsistent.
Yes.
But see, like I made that mention of the details. Like, if this movie wanted to be different and stand out from the rest of Alien, because that's what Alien is built for. The Xenos take on the characteristics of their host. That's why I made the connection to not only the comics for the stories, but the Kenner line of toys, because they got a gorilla alien would be horrifying. You know,
That would be fun.
like obviously the joke of Harambe in space would be hysterical, but but you know, something big and physically as strong as a gorilla alien,
Right.
or the snake alien, or there's actually a crocodile alien. There's a croc alien, which is enormous, but
That could be fun.
all of these things could be fun, thematic, like could be done. And if they wanted to do that with Romulus, then don't focus on the xenomorph. Have Navarro get or have not Navarro, have Kay get infected somehow with the black goo, and then she doesn't have a chest burster, she has the womb burster, and like, you know, it pops out of her stomach, and they have to deal with that.
That would have been much better.
Exactly. So they deal with the xenomorph clones immediately, and the whole time Kay, you know, so halfway through the movie, Kay dies, and then they have to deal with this thing stalking them, which would have been so much more horrifying.
Yeah, and we haven't really talked about how the xenomorphs were basically not a threat in this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, and the same thing with the facehuggers, right? They just walk through the room and they're fine and never come back again, right? But I thought the movie was infinitely more interesting when there was only one xenomorph than when there's a whole bunch of them and then they're all killed in one scene. You're like, okay, great. But also, like, why were there so many on the like, the whole point was that it took them forever to kill the one thing, the one xenomorph, and they finally did it. And then now there's like 20 of them.
Yeah, there were 10 clones.
Right. I just feel like the fight scene, they could have done the exact same movie. It would have worked the exact same way. Like, if I'm thinking of the choreography of how they worked through the ending of this movie with just one xenomorph. Like, she could have shot it a bunch of times in zero gravity and still had blood. He still had acid blood everywhere if it was just one xenomorph. And it's kind of a similar problem that Alien 2 has. It's like the demystification of the xenomorph. Like, you're killing because you turned it into an action movie instead of a horror movie. You're popping xenomorphs left and right, and all of the sudden, Alien 1 feels less scary because that was just one guy. Right? You know, it's not the first time they've made that mistake, but I think it's still a mistake.
Yeah, I wish. I really wish that just everything was better set up. I wish that because like, I don't even like how the xenomorph lived. Like, I'm just gonna jump to that scene. I despise that scene where Bjorn has the cattle prod and he just shoves it into the cocoon.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I hate this scene because
he doesn't.
The Xeno should be dead. He just shoved this thing in and just started electrifying it. And if not dead, it should be horribly crippled. Yeah, and instead, it comes out and it's totally fine.
I mean, that is a problem with the whole franchise. They are inconsistent about what kills a xenomorph and what doesn't. Sometimes it's one bullet, and sometimes a cattle prod doesn't do anything. You know.
Yeah, and the
I as much as I love the franchise, I wish it was more consistent. Like establish rules. Breaking rules is fun to do. Like, once you've established them, like if you come up with like a rule break, it can be super exciting if you've like laid the groundwork for it, right? But this just breaks rules because they're not paying attention.
Yeah. So there's actually a detail that somebody commented. I don't remember who it was, but he caught this detail that many people do not remember, because when people hear Alien, they think acid for blood.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, great. Well, in Aliens, I think it's Bishop actually I think it's Bishop. I think Bishop mentions that. So basically, the xenomorphs are like batteries. They use acid for blood in the same way we use acid in our lead-in batteries for cars.
Don't remember that, but that's a cool thing.
Yeah, so that's basically how the xenomorphs operate. So the acid for blood gives them their energy. When you drain them of the blood, of course they die, like us. But when their acid blood comes in contact with the air, it oxidizes. So over time, it loses its acidity, which is why the acid stops melting after a while.
Right.
And so it frustrates me. So, like, I'm fine with the scene as it's presented because, one, the characters wouldn't know this, and two, because it wasn't explained by Rook, and two, it was probably close enough in time that when they were trying to get through it,
that the acid would still have a kick.
Exactly. So I'm fine with that, but then they keep mentioning that the acid for blood is such a big threat, and then it's never a threat.
Yeah. I did like it's just really interesting stuff. I liked that they set up kind of like a stalemate situation where, like, yeah, the alien knows you're not a threat, but also it knows that it could blow the airlock if it bleeds or whatever. Like, I was like that's kind of an interesting thing to explore.
I don't like how the Xeno knows more than it should.
Yeah.
It's like when it goes to kill Rain and Tyler gets impaled and gets killed eventually. It's like, why is he considered a threat when this thing doesn't know what a pulse rifle does?
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't, and yet it does. And then there was another detail. Somebody else mentioned it because I didn't. I just chalked it up to being one of the clones. The lead Xeno that killed Tyler. Do you remember after Andy gets knocked down and he starts spasming in the hive?
Yeah. And
the
then
Xeno
Tyler gets pulled up.
Yeah. So after he dies and Rain runs over to Andy. Okay, so Tyler,
when she comes back, she gets off the elevator, comes back for
no. Before she gets into the elevator, so where Tyler and Rain were, above them is where is where the Xeno was. Rain runs backwards to reach Andy because he got whipped backwards near the stairs, which means the Xeno should have come down behind Rain. But it's in front of Andy, remember? Because it's overlooking both of them. She sees it and runs back to the elevator.
Wasn't there more than one, though?
There were, but they were up in the hive. Because they were up there ripping Tyler to pieces.
Yeah, I'd have to rewatch that.
Yeah, I thought it was one of the clones, too. And he's like, no, it's actually the lead. And I was like, what?
Yeah,
that's
sloppy.
Rain's dead. Rain
sloppy.
should be dead. Yeah, the movie starts off fine. It's slow, but the second you get past that 30 to 45 minute mark, it tanks in quality and gets worse.
Mm-hmm. I still think it's an improvement on the franchise, and I want to see more.
Somebody asked me where would I rank this, and realistically, despite all of its problems, I'd probably put it somewhere in the middle of the franchise. Not that that's a good thing, because the franchise is pretty bad overall.
I like this one a lot. I think it's better than Alien 2. Probably my enjoyment of it.
Okay.
Because Alien, as good as Alien 2 is, it does create a lot of problems for the franchise, right? It demystifies the xenomorph, and completely changes the genre, which was fine. But I do like the horror more than the action.
Yeah, so you're more of a Scott than a Cameron.
Yeah. Both great, right? I think this is my second favorite Alien movie.
Okay.
Completely admitting that it has problems, but so did Alien 2. Okay? That one's got problems too.
Nowhere near as many. Well, here, hold on. What problems do you have with Aliens, then?
Well, I think the biggest problem is that it makes them way too squishy. They're not scary.
Okay.
They're killing aliens left and right. And this movie does that too.
I can understand that. So the reason the aliens are getting blown apart is, well, the pulse rifles were firing armor piercing rounds.
Okay.
So that's why they come apart. Because if you notice, I don't know if you remember the detail, because it's a blink and you'll miss it shot. When Vasquez is stuck in the vent shaft and she's got her legs got burnt by the acid because the alien comes down on her and she pins it and blasts it. It takes multiple shots to get through the dome because and point blank. And then when Gorman goes back to get her and the one Xeno blocks, it cuts them off. He turns and fires at it, and the bullets deflect off the dome multiple times.
Yeah.
So it's not like the Xenos aren't pretty strong. It's that when they are hit with something, the pulse rifles with the armor-piercing rounds, or the weight of the APC rolling over the one that attacked them in the hive, it's like they got hit by something hard, and so how do you upscale that? You need
it's done well. Rush. Like I really like Aliens. Like it's not. I'm exaggerating the problem, right? Like that they are consistent with it, and that is good. But even with that, there's so many aliens dying in that movie, it does make them less scary.
I can understand that, yeah.
And I like the horror more than the action, and so I really dug this movie. I thought it was a lot of fun. That it did some fun stuff and made some mistakes that I wish it had done better. And I wanna see another one. I wish they were making more movies like this, right? That are trying and not quite getting there, but still a pretty good product. Than like Rings of Power and the Acolyte stuff, where they know they're making garbage and they don't care.
Yeah.
Like you can tell Fede Alvarez likes the franchise.
Has a lot of passion.
He was trying to make a good movie. Probably could have hired some better screenwriters.
That's like the universal problem with Hollywood right now.
Yeah, like I feel like this movie is like the best that we can get right now because Hollywood is so ingrained with garbage writers. Like this is like the consolation prize. Like, yeah, you get a pretty good movie in spite of that. But yeah, of course I want the movie to be better. But yeah, technically Alien 2 is a better made movie. Absolutely. I think I enjoyed this one more.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Slender Man was so cool. Slender Man was fun. And I liked the way that they kill him. She's hanging on a rope and drops that was fun. Yeah, he could have been more imposing. Could have been more smarter. He was also just a baby. He was a little baby. He didn't know how to kill yet. It took him a long time. It took him a long time to kill his mom. Okay, he was more like playing with her like a toy.
He hickoryed her to death, and he also slit Andy's throat instantly.
Yeah.
No.
But it was fun. Slender Man was fun. He
should have been.
He was focus. A spooky boy.
He should have been the focus.
Yeah, he should have been.
Like I said, halfway through the movie, change it. She dies.
Get rid of all of the clones. Just have one xenomorph,
exactly.
or just have him. Just have Slender Man the whole time. That'd be fine. Yeah. But you got to have a classic xenomorph. It's an alien movie.
There's also something that really frustrated me, and it's another detail I didn't mention, but I don't know if anyone else, like Shadow, Mark, or anybody else who's in chat who has seen it, did anybody else catch that the lead alien, after it gets shot by the pulse rifle, there's a break in the dome, like right above its mouth, and for some reason it keeps sparking white light.
I don't understand. Like reflecting on its dome?
No. Like it has there's like an illuminative spark in its dome after it gets shot. And I don't know why.
I don't know what you're referring to.
So after so in the hive, after Rain has lit and by the way, killed all of the Xeno clones. Let's be clear, they're all dead.
They don't get finished off until
So after she does to them what the Colonial Marines do, when it climbs up the elevator, there's actually a break in the dome, like its forehead, where one of the bullets traveled through and broke the visor or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But in the skull, in the head of the alien, it has this like white light that keeps sparking on and off like a broken light.
Okay.
I caught this detail and I actually noted it down. I was like, oh, like, are these aliens all synthetics? Like, what's going on here? And
or
they never
is it just an
explain
artifact from like the practical effect?
No. It's
intentional.
No, it looks intentional because the Xeno never does this.
Well, I don't. I'd have to rewatch. I don't know what you're talking about. So
let me see if I can find it in the trailer. Cause it drove me nuts. I couldn't figure it out.
Screenshot or something.
I'll try to find that like moment because like the Xenos and everything look great in the movie. Like overall, they look fantastic. Especially, I also love that they're practical. The Xenomorph being practical was fantastic, but the moment I'm talking about drove me nuts. I'll have to try to find it, and if I don't find it like now, I'll send you a screenshot or something.
Yeah, I don't know if I have anything else to say about Romulus, but I liked it. It was fun. Could have been better. Do better, okay? Do better, Alien franchise. You can make this is a new thing I do where I parody the worst scene in all of cinema, which comes from the Falcon and Winter Soldier TV show.
You need to do better, Senator.
Do better, Alien franchise. You can make a facehugger with an email. Okay? You can clone a xenomorph with a phone call. Do better. Are the Predator movies worth watching? I've only seen the first one. I love the first one.
I've got it here. Actually, I got it here. I found it. On Predator.
You
Predator
can share your
1.
Screen if you want.
Predator 1 is fantastic. Predator 2 is a worthy sequel, although it definitely is not as well made.
Yeah.
Predators it's okay. I know a lot of people kind of place it above Predator 2, but me.
Predators. That's the one with that lanky guy in it, right?
Lanky guy?
The guy who was in, I don't remember his name. He's in
Adrian Brody.
Adrian Brody, that's the one.
Yeah, he's the lead. Because somehow somebody thought that was a good idea to make him a badass.
They tried a couple times with him.
And then there's you might like Prey. There is one fantastic scene that always gets me excited, but that's it. There's nothing else in that movie. It's crap because it's just another. It's the same vein as Alien Romulus. It's just nothing but callbacks, and it's not particularly good. And then The Predator, avoid like the Black Plague.
Oh, I think I have seen that one. That was the Shane Black one, right?
Yes.
I think I did watch The Predator. The one with autism is a superpower.
Yeah.
It wasn't great. I got excited for that one because I like Shane Black as a writer. I think he's fantastic, and he'd kind of always been trying to make a Predator movie after, because he's an actor in the first one, right? He's one of
yes, he's so he's the first guy that dies to the Predator, because
he'd always been talking about how he wanted to make a Predator movie, and so I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. It's Shane Black. He's probably one of the best writers in Hollywood. And it wasn't. It was not great. I don't know what happened to Shane Black.
I'm going to share the Brave tab. I don't know. Oh, cool. Great. Oh, so we can see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So, hello, everybody. This is my shameless plug to my content.
Dude, your video's getting numbers, man.
Yeah, it pushed me over 5.7. I'm happy.
It's doing good. Oh wait, when I pulled it up this morning and it was under 2,000 views, and now it's already gotten 500 more.
Okay, so real quick, so this shot here is when it's about to kill Tyler. So this is not in what I'm about to show.
Right. Side note, I like that their teeth look like they're made out of metal.
Even they're all grills, yeah. So in this shot, I don't know if you can see it well. Do you see the crack here in the dome?
Right. Yes.
Okay. This is right after Rain just got done annihilating all of these things with the pulse rifle. Now, there is this white light, and you have this backing light. There's not really any direct light that is flashing in this, because this is the elevator shaft, and this is right before Andy jumps down and kills it. Okay.
Yeah.
So real quick, I'm just going to play it out fast.
Do it.
There's going to be a light right here inside the dome, and I don't know why it's there. It's really quick. I hope you saw it.
It didn't look like it was coming from inside, but I have to watch it in slow-mo.
Right there. Okay. So
yeah, it looks like a spark exploding and reflecting off the dome.
Yeah. So like the lighting is here. Like there's ambient light here on the dome. We see this from here.
Yeah.
And
this is a really, really specific.
Ding. There you go.
I don't know what that is. Yeah.
See, like, because this is ambient light because there's orange lights in the elevator shaft. Where the hell did this come from?
Is that like a bullet flash? Because this is right before Andy jumps down.
No, not that I recognize. Because
it's also lighting up her face too. Like it's
yeah, it's right here. Because like you see the eye socket, because the xenomorph skull actually has the human, like the top half of our skull is
maybe
their head.
Maybe it's supposed to be like some light flashing on from above. That's a different source coming down from the elevator.
No, the elevator's already dropped. Because this is right before Andy jumps down and kills it with the pulse rifle. He already dropped the elevator, which killed.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here, folks, guys. You heard it here first, folks. Alien Romulus is an absolute travesty failure of a movie because there's a light on the Z.
Yeah, they put an LED in the Alien. I don't like it.
There's literally one frame where there's a light that we don't know where that light comes from. Do better.
Yeah, it's like it's like where did Noah get his wife? Oh, you're not going to tell us? Oh, the Bible's not real. No, it's just this.
No. Yeah, it's weird.
This detail just drives me nuts.
Anyway,
but because I have I have the shot where he comes down on the alien.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess I'll just have to rewatch the whole movie and pay attention more. Yeah.
Yeah. See,
there's
like
sparks. I don't know.
Like I need to see the movie again at a later time because I have intention of going through and doing like all of the these bigger franchises like Predator, Alien, and Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
And I intend on doing because I've actually written all of Jurassic Park and done the screenplay. I have to go through and record the audio and make the video. So that's actually on its way. And I'm going to do the same with this series. So I intend on doing this and trying to figure this out. But it's just like what is that Rubik's complex where it's like I have to know the answer. It's like for this I need to know like why is there a light in the forehead of the alien?
See, I'm far more interested in like who killed JFK, right? That I'd much rather find out that answer than this one.
Oh no, I understand. I understand.
You're doing the Always Sunny in Philadelphia meme, right? With the crazy wall. Where's the light coming from?
I know. But it's a detail that popped up a couple times, and I'm like, where is this coming from? I need to know, and they just never explain it. I'm probably making it into a much bigger problem than it actually is, but it does frustrate me that like the xenomorphs glow for some reason, and it's only after they get shot.
It looks like a reflection of a different light source to me. It doesn't look like it's glowing.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong, and I'm fine if I'm wrong.
There's lots of other flashing lights and things malfunctioning. It could be a spark or an explosion next to her that briefly lights up.
Could be.
Face. It's just an explosion. It's a little spark off camera. See? There was no grassy knoll. Got it?
There was only one shooter.
There's only one. There's definitely only one shooter.
Yeah. He just put a blood pack on his ear.
Yeah. It's basically, JFK was did the whole little ear bandage before Trump did. He totally faked it. Anyway, I guess my regulars have probably been waiting for a very long time to talk about Silo.
Yes.
But thanks for coming on the show. You're welcome to stay. You probably haven't seen the show, right?
No, I haven't seen anything. I don't know what a silo is.
It's a TV show on Apple TV. We all went in together on an Apple TV subscription, and by all of us, I mean me, and everyone else. I just gave everyone the password.
Uh-huh.
We had a couple bye weeks before Rings of Power drops.
Gotcha.
So we needed content. Why you got a harsh on this mellow? I've been in a weird mood the whole stream, and it really worked for the first 2 hours, and now I'm crashing because I'm actually feeling sick now. So thanks for coming on. Definitely check out the full review. I don't think I disagree on any of the points that you bring up in your criticism of the movie. They don't bother me as much as they bother you. But you're right for sure. Do better, Alien. But also, it was really fun, and what a gorgeous, gorgeous looking film.
Mm-hmm.
Man, those exterior shots, I still can't get over how freaking cool they looked. So, I also loved I just loved the Saturn's rings. I know it's not Saturn. Falling into the rings, right? Especially after seeing the Acolyte and having them just fly into one of those and be fine. Yeah. And it was fun. Fun movie. Why is Bearded in a dark room with his computer?
Oh, we all know why.
We know why. He's hiding from his wife.
He was watching Silo.
He was catching up. He could have watched a whole episode.
Ranting about made up LEDs.
He could have finished an entire episode while we talked about Alien. That went on for
basically
far too long. I'm a new to the franchise, and I think it's a really, really fun franchise. Even the bad films are, well, not Alien 3. I don't think there's anything to enjoy in Alien 3, but I can even enjoy Alien Covenant sometimes.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here.
To help get Albelio to 6K subscribers. Great channel. Thanks for coming on. Welcome back anytime.
Yeah, thank you very much. Have a good night, guys. Enjoy.
If you want to, commit seppuku with us, you could watch Rings of Power.
Of course I'm going to.
Anyway, see ya.
All right, later, guys.
See ya.
Oh. Sorry that took so long, guys.
Yeah, I'm good. Can't complain about you having something positive to talk about.
I know. Everyone says I'm too negative, but man, I really like the Alien movies. They've been real fun. So.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, we've had some good stuff to talk about, and now we're ready to get back into the bleak world of 3 episodes of Rings of Power.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Is that Friday it is, or?
That's this week?
It's
Thursday.
The 29th. It's Thursday night.
Yeah. It'll be interesting.
I don't know.
I'm glad
I don't
they'll
know.
have-
I don't know if that means like early in the morning or late at night, but on the 29th.
Yeah. Yeah, midnight or at 6 o'clock in the evening or whatever. Yeah.
Also, Craven the Hunter drops this week, and I'm not watching that.
Oh yeah. I need to get over the theater. There's a couple things I need. that I've been
Aliens
meaning
is
to
the
watch.
best. No, the first one is the best Alien movie. Aliens 2 is fun. It's not the best. Fight me, Mark Clark. Anyway, you guys like Silo? I liked Silo.
Yeah,
It's got problems. Got some problems.
Wasn't perfect, but I really thought it was good. I thought there was a lot of cool things they explored there. Like you said, it's Fallout but better.
It would be, Mark.
It would be, yeah. I was going to make that joke, but it was a little too tired.
You degenerate.
Oh, I actually wanted to make the joke. He must have started with like Covenant or something like that, and so he had all the worst ones, and then he went to the best ones. But yeah, it makes sense. No, yeah, Silo was a lot of fun, and it was funny because I started watching it. My wife was just kicking around in the kitchen doing some stuff, and I got a couple episodes in, and she's like, "Can I keep watching this with you?"
Yeah,
that was really good. So
Nice.
really good. Put together. It was also really interesting because, like, the first episode, you're following the one sheriff for a while. Like,
it does a good job of swapping main perspectives.
Main
Yeah,
perspective. Yeah, exactly. You transfer between those pretty quickly but like well.
it absolutely does that in the book
true.
too. Like the first couple
Yeah.
chapters, you know, it's. I mean, the guy dies, and so it switches to Lady.
Yeah,
who's
yeah. I was gonna say you don't even see her. I think in maybe the entire first episode, or if at all, until the halfway through the second.
Yeah.
And
you only get a second of her in the second episode. You don't even get to see her until just really episode 3.
Yeah.
I also like that you're willing to hire like I don't know if Rashida Jones is like an A-list actor. She's probably more like a B-list. I mean, not in quality, but like in terms of money. Like
right.
I appreciate you're willing to hire someone like that and for one episode and kill her off. And I think she did a really good job in episode 1.
Yeah, the other thing, with that, I guess she's probably not as big as she was during her heyday, like right after The Office and Parks and Rec, really. But
this show is everything that Fallout should have been.
Yeah, like seriously.
I actually finally finished Fallout this week too. So yay!
I'm sorry.
Yeah. It was fine. It wasn't terrible, and
Wasn't good.
That was the consensus that I took out of this. It was a lot better than some of the other stuff we've watched. So
that was a chore. It was a chore for me to get through. I liked the first half, and the second half was like drudging, man.
Yeah. Anyway, but Silo was I thought. So when did you guys figure out that the good stuff outside was the fake?
Immediately.
Yeah, as soon as they showed him going out there, I was like, oh yeah, it's actually the other way around.
Well, it just doesn't make sense. Like if you have 2 brain cells, it doesn't make any sense. Like especially with how much they tried to humanize the bad guys, saying like, oh, like like in the dialogue choices that they made, it wasn't just like, oh, I'm doing this for power. It's like, no, like if you're doing this, you could wreck the whole system because the secret is it's actually bad outside, and like we make them see it's good so that they'll turn around and do the cleaning, right?
Yeah,
like if you set up a rebellion, people are going to want to go outside, and you can't survive outside. It was pretty obvious. Like it was not.
The biggest red herring for me with that was when the power went out and the screen in the cafeteria went green.
Yeah, I saw that.
I think that was a mistake. I don't think they should have done that. I think that was really dumb.
Well, so retroactively
does not
it doesn't make any sense. It only makes sense if it's actually good outside, right? And I was expecting there to be a twist on the idea that like this is a dystopian future, dystopian society. It
also breaks book canon. So what they figure out is how when Rashida Jones's character. The reason she goes out is she doesn't find a video file. She finds a computer program that and she knows how to read the code, and she knows that this program is designed to manipulate
visual
thing, but it was specific to the screen was really small. They're like, this wouldn't work on the outside displays, or like it. And they find out it's the size of the visor. So the visors aren't made of glass. It's literally just a TV screen on their helmets.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. Yeah. The book also doesn't hide that fact. They tell you. Like they show you. They show you. What was his name? Not Bernard. That's the bad guy. Holston?
Holston? Yeah, Holston, the original sheriff.
Was Holston the first sheriff?
Yeah, that was the first sheriff, yeah. Sheriff Holston.
Billings was the later sheriff. Yeah.
Holston. Sorry, the picture that he's got up online isn't yeah, okay. He didn't have facial hair. I was like, I don't know who that person is. that guy wasn't in the show. Okay.
Right. Well, and then the other part of that reveal too.
Sorry. In the book, they show his perspective. He takes off his helmet, and everything's dark. Like you get it from like the second chapter.
Yeah, and that kind of makes sense to get it tracked. But again, they got me just enough until you saw the when they find the video file and it still has the birds going across. I'm like,
that was a huge tell. Like it was the exact same sound. And the same birds, like it's not hard. It's not hard to tell what the twist is.
Yeah.
Well, again, I was just expecting it to be a different twist. Like it looks pretty out there, but it's actually poisonous still, or whatever.
And granted, I'm fine with the twist being predictable because I mean the book spoils it for you too. Like that's not what the show's about. It's about the dynamic in the silo and how.
Yeah, and I would say that is why I think that it's so much better than Fallout is because. It's not just about it's
consistent.
Like we've got to like keep this utopian structure here because it's not like it's a utopian structure. Like you have the people in the underbelly, you have the people in the top, right, and then you have the midders, right. But it's like it's about keeping that alive and but the other thing I'll say too that I thought was interesting about. Or that I got from the very first, I guess it was the second episode where the sheriff goes out. But it showed it like it did a close up of the tape, like wrapping her things. And I was like, oh, you know what? That right there is probably like how they kill him.
Yeah.
Right? So you go out and I was like, oh, they probably do something with the suit and
do better. Fallout.
No, we figured they were pumping in something.
You can make a dystopian society with an email. You can turn a human into a ghoul with a phone call. Yeah. Do better, Fallout.
Justin's got it though. I'm definitely interested in the door at the bottom. That's probably going to lead to those other silos over there. I'd imagine.
Not in the books yet. I don't know what that is.
I was gonna because when. Was it when Gregory or whatever George first pulls up the thing and it shows a schematic and a tunnel leading out? I was like, oh, that's probably gonna. But then like they didn't revisit that part of
his character's
hard drive at all.
His character's not even in the books. It's just mentioned. Really? It's just mentioned that she had a boyfriend who died. That's literally it.
Yeah,
maybe there's flashbacks later on that I haven't gotten to, but
it was also really well done when Sheriff what's her name is like, yeah, so what about this and about that big door at the bottom and Bernard's was like, oh, you could tell he was like, I didn't know about that one. All right.
Which doesn't make sense though, because if he should know about that part doesn't.
Well, I still believe that like there's stuff that they did that they didn't know about, like down that down digging area. They probably don't have cameras down there. They're not aware of what exactly was going on.
But
down
also
there,
like Bernard is in contact with the other silos.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like they talk to each other.
Well, I wonder if again he's just not aware of the fact that there is a connection. Like even if he has like the ability to talk with them, but that there might be a physical connection between them.
Right, like that's kind of what I think that door is it's some sort of connection between the silos of some kind. Probably. But the other thing too that I was going to point out is that I think that it's interesting because like the difference between this and Fallout is that they had these artifacts, right? Like they had these artifacts, but I mean, because in Fallout they had artifacts where they're like, oh, this is from the old time or whatever, right? But like in this one,
It's from the before four times.
were prohibited, right? Like those were items that if you were found in possession of, you could be
illegal.
Sent out, or you could be put in jail or whatever. Like those are the sorts of things that can get you in trouble. And so I think that was one of those parts that really drove the narrative, right? Is there's this artifact, there's this old hard drive, there's this, and that was the part that was, you're like, oh shoot, like she's got to keep it hidden, she's got to keep it safe, like she's got to conceal it. And so there was this sense like you're like, oh, it's a Pez dispenser. So why is that banned? Oh, it's because right.
And that's the thing that again leads, at least the way they're setting it up, lends to the idea of these are just authoritarian people that don't want you to figure anything out, and they're trying to keep you in the dark because they're trying to keep any knowledge of the past, any awareness of the past would be destabilizing to them and their system. Which again, to your point of like, that's actually a good thing because it's not good outside. You don't want to have that going on, but it just sounds like that power trip idea, So
so that's actually TV show specific, and I think that it there's good and bad to it, right? Like there's no emphasis like that in the books of like, oh, these you can't have any relics. Like they have children's books in the show, and it's fine. Okay. It's fine. They read them, and most people don't believe them. They're like, this has got to be an exaggeration. There's no way that the Earth used to be this green. So there's no taboo like that. And while it does offer some interesting world building in the TV show, it also at the same time kind of undercuts the entire the point that like you kind of want the whole system that they've set up with the silo is you want a system that's devoid of hope, right? So that no one tries to leave, which is why they set up this system that has without fail
caste system. And,
they have the caste system. You're not allowed to move up and down the levels, but they've also created the lie of like there's no other reason to pump in a fake, a pretty looking landscape to the people who are about to die, other than to get them to turn around and do the cleaning, which is, but like, and the reason that they've set this up is to create this illusion of, well, I mean, it's not an illusion. That's the thing.
Right, to show
of no hope, that like they want to know, hey, if we go outside, you die without question. There is no way to solve this. And while they're making that worse with making the suits defective, they're also not wrong, right? Like you will die outside, and even if your suits did work, where are you going to go? You're going to run out of air. And this becomes a thing later in the books. So like, once you get out of the silo, you're still dead. So they've manufactured this society to create a world to remove hope. From the equation, and that would be more effective if you let people read these children's books of like,
I don't know, because having a fantasy to think about and to imagine, and so both to think that there used to be a place like this, or even to think that there used to be a place that they could dream of a place like this would give them hope, I would think.
Exactly. That's how I see it, where it's like, all right, you start to imagine a different world, and then you're like, oh, well, it could be better than this world that I'm currently living.
Right, because you saw when people tried to talk about a beautiful world or about there being so much water that there was this big ocean or whatever, everyone didn't believe it. But then when they had the book and they were able to see that, they're like, whoa, look at these pictures or even just this depiction of it.
That's why it's more interesting to me, like the fact they have the children, it's not taboo in the books, and it's worse, right? So you have these people reading these books, and they've been in the silo for so long, they think the books are a lie.
Right.
And I think that's a little bit more interesting to me. It's not a big change, right? Like it's not. I don't hate it. I think it worked a little bit better in the books. I don't hate what they did in the TV show. I think it works in some parts, and it also doesn't work in some. The other thing is, it kind of undermines what they were trying to do with how much they humanized the bad guys, right? They tried to show, hey, look, we're not doing this because we're evil. We're doing this because, I mean, what else? We have to maintain the status quo of the silo, or people go crazy and start killing each other.
Yeah.
And so like they tried super hard to humanize the black guy by giving him a family. What's his name?
Sims. Yeah.
Sims.
Robert Sims. Yep.
Basically, he's like mentioned once in the book.
Oh,
like
really?
he's doing stuff behind the scenes. Like you don't,
which also kind of makes sense depending on the perspective they're telling.
So
the story
you want to
from,
give him more
you know.
more screen time. Could have chosen a better actor.
Yeah, he did great.
He's not great. Also, his beard looks fake. it's so straight. You know, it's like so groomed. Like you're in a silo, my guy. It's okay if your fade isn't perfect. Okay.
No, but he's a top. He's a topper or whatever they all.
It looks like a bottom to me. But
it's high class, man.
I will say it's interesting.
That wasn't what I was talking about. Sure.
I know.
He talked about his dad like having to pretend like he was something else, like something lowly, even to his mom. But then, like him and his wife seem to both know what's going on.
But the whole like ultra totalitarian thing kind of undermines what they were trying to do. Like if they wanted to humanize the character, humanize the bad guys, all they had to do was stick with the book, saying like, "Hey, we're not doing this because we're evil. We're doing this because we're trying to maintain the status quo." But when they add on the whole like, "Oh, you're not allowed to have a Pez dispenser," it's like it kind of like undercuts what they're trying to do. It doesn't feel like they're doing it for the greater good. It sounds like they're doing it for themselves.
Which that's the question, is where they're going to go with this, if they're going to maintain the overall message that, yes, this is for the greater good, even though it might be problematic or whatever, or if because of this, it shows that they maybe are going for they say it's for the greater good, or they think it's for the greater good, but in the end, it's just going to be bad, if they're going to still have a message of these guys are bad and wrong. But you're right that it kind of confuses it, because they humanize him.
They are
you know?
absolutely going the other way. They've already done it the other. That was the whole point of like they even have Bernard say like no, like I forget the specific line, but he straight up says like it's everything's going to fall up, like the entire future of the silo depends on her not getting her way, because even though she is right, we are lying to her. It's to protect. We are lying to everyone. It's to protect the people, and if the truth comes out, people are going to die, right? So he has that line where he's like, "Look, I'm a bad guy, but I'm not a bad guy," you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I'm intrigued to see where they go with the season 2. I mean, again, I was caught up in it a little bit more than you guys were with some of the ideas there, but again, I wasn't surprised. I could have seen it going.
It's done well. It's interesting. I just think it kind of undercuts the story that you're trying to tell, to have him like wink into the camera. I'm doing evil because I like it, but that's not what you're trying to do. So
which is the only reason why I say like it's
a little bit inconsistent.
That make me think: are they going to switch it on us in that way? Because again, they're playing both sides of it almost too well, if that makes sense. Like they're not, like they're playing. He's actually doing it for the greater good, but also he's
a little too mustache twirly,
Yeah.
Oh well, absolutely. Especially with like the punishments that he was giving out, to like the guy that helped her, even though all he was there when
he didn't report the red level.
Not a
like,
thing.
You're going down to the mines or whatever. You're like,
at least not yet. Not a thing in the books. He gets a promotion. He becomes Bernard's shadow. Yeah.
Interesting.
Not Sims. Not Sims. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
He literally says, "Hey, I'm going to tell you all the secrets. Look at all there are more than one silo." The second that she leaves, of course, he wasn't quite as involved in the plot as and that was the dumbest part of the TV show, when she gets him involved, and he's like, "You've like talked to this guy twice. You kind of have you kind of are vibing. You kind of have a crush on
yeah.
each other,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to say, "Hey, you want to help me overthrow the government, my guy? All I need is your security pass. Like I need your gate key. I need your login." And he's like,
I will say,
"No, what?"
Yeah. I will say that's
like
incredibly consistent with an idea that like you tend to see in media stuff where it's like, oh yeah, in order to tell a quicker story, you're going to just jump to the idea that you've also laid the groundwork.
I liked that he says no
because he's looking at the stars, and so you think he's being set up for to be a guy who's going to go along with it because he's a wanderer or wanderer or whatever, I don't know, and curious. But then he says no, which is also a really like realistic. This is society. This is the laws, and there's reason, whatever going on.
Yeah,
there,
but it was really stupid to spring that on him, especially when she already knew like the police were on their way to her house, right? And she brought the thing that they were looking for to her. Like there were so many moments like that where you're like they added a whole bunch of stuff that's not. They tried to draw out the tension, right? By having all these plot lines, and it ended up making the character look stupid because she was making bad choices. Like she takes the drive to her house and she knows they're on their way to get it. Like hide it somewhere on the way, like don't like her character is supposed to be smart, but she keeps making these stupid choices because you're trying to draw out the plot.
Yeah. Although I think I felt like they balanced it okay because they still, even though she made a dumb-ish decision, it was still like she was still out of there before they got there, or she got the drive out of there,
frequently, like they have her get captured so that she can run away, and then they manufacture 3 different places,
that she shows up
where she gets captured and finds a new way to get away, right? And then grabs the drive as she's going. Like there's so many like contrivances there that were completely unnecessary because you didn't have to add that at all. Like it's stuff that they're adding that's creating problems for themselves and making the main character look dumb. Now, there's a lot of stuff that they do add that's better than the books, like the characterization. It's slowing it down significantly. You don't get any of basically any character work in the book, at least until after she leaves the silo, and then you start exploring her character, right? But yeah, like the backstory stuff with her dad and her mom, it really fleshes these characters out that aren't quite as well fleshed out in the books. That does it. It does
I really like
a really good job with that stuff.
Yeah, I really like what they set up with that. It was one of those things where it almost felt like as she was holding on to it a little longer than an adult would, like all the way into her adulthood, where it's like, I don't know, there was something there where it felt a little bit over the top how angry she was. But then when they explore it, you're like, okay, that makes sense that it's because she thought that he betrayed her or whatever. It still just felt a little bit off, but really, really well done. That idea of she was sure that her dad had turned. I guess it's the fact that he was so in denial, like saying, no, I did not turn her in, when everything else had already come out, that it seems like if I was her, I would have been like, okay, then how else did they find out? Because like there's no reason for him to hide it anymore, but either way, that whole thing of why she was angry at him. And then once she learned that, no, they're just spying on us. That's how they found out was really well done, I thought.
Yeah, I agree. I like the backstory, and finding out about how her brother died, and then how her mother passed away, and it's like it definitely added depth to the character, which was really good.
Yeah, I mean, did we find out a lot about how her brother died, or was it just because of his lung condition or whatever? Or
he had a hole in his heart, or
whatever it was they were trying to fix on the bunny.
I think it was a hole in his heart.
It was a stillbirth in the book. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So they added the whole mom stuff to the TV, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the other interesting thing. I'm curious because you were talking the other week about why you were thinking that they didn't want them to invent more magnification.
Yeah.
What was the thought process? I was trying to think through it.
It's not in the book at all.
Not in the book at all.
The rules aren't in the. Not yet, at least, right?
Yeah.
The you can't mechanize travel, not in the book. You can't do magnification, not in the book. But I think it's good world building. I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It does make me curious because Jared, wasn't you that had the theory as to why they didn't want him to magnify things?
Well,
It's
one
water.
was
Stuff in the water.
yeah.
Jared said it's so they can't make
see the-
technology as well.
That was kind of what I was thinking it was going to, but yeah.
But it mentioned how you wouldn't be able to create chips like computer chips and stuff like that, right? Because you wouldn't be able to. But that essentially is, leads down to microscopes and things like that as well, right? So
yeah. So yeah, that'll be an interesting one to figure out what they're doing, that like why they've added that in there, because it is a kind of interesting thing. But the whole ambiance and the vibe, like it was really really well, like the world building of it was really really cool.
It's got a really good tone to it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Loved walk. Figuring like that whole. Like she's just down, like not necessarily that she couldn't get out, but although it was kind of interesting too. Just
Walker's supposed to be a man.
Oh, really? But just the whole thing down there with I don't know, just the way that it's all structured. You've got all your the caste system and Walk's just hanging out there and people know her and yeah, that was I don't know, it was good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to season 2. It's pretty interesting. So
yeah, November, right?
I did see that.
Severance comes first. Severance is January. I don't know if we have a date yet for it.
I thought we did.
Next year, the end of next
year. Oh, it's November of next year. Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Well, that's a bummer. No, it says 2024. November 2024.
Hold on.
At least that's what I'm seeing.
I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm totally way off. Silo season premieres November 15th. Yeah. Okay, so it's coming a lot sooner.
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited about that. That'll be really fun to see. And I'm thinking we might check out Severance next because, like you said, Severance is coming in January.
Oh, it's fun. Yes, I love Severance.
That one looks really good. I showed the trailers to my wife for that and for Shrinking, and both of those looked interesting to her. She didn't think Ted Lasso looked very interesting to her, though, so we'll see how that one goes.
I think your wife would love Ted Lasso.
I kind of think so, too. I think the biggest problem for her is just that it's going to be too sports-oriented, and she doesn't really care about sports, and so she's like, what? I don't care about sports, so...
It's really not.
The
show has nothing to do with
I think she should try it anyway, because I've heard that it both helps you understand why people do love sports more, and then again, it's so much less about sports than it seems.
Well, so real quick, are we done discussing Silo then?
No, we can still talk about Silo.
I mean, yeah, we got
okay, because I did want to bring up Ted Lasso because I did finish the last.
If you want to talk about Ted Lasso, then we can.
Yeah, I want to get going anyway too. So.
We can definitely complain about Ted Lasso.
No, but
well,
and we're looking forward to next week.
Just
looking forward to complaining next week about Rings of Power. So,
yeah, it's really weird, but it's a good weird. Keep watching Severance. I freaking love that show. Can't wait for January.
Yep. Besides watching Rings of Power, anything else that we're planning on talking about next week?
Well, next week is 3 episodes of Rings of Power, and if you're crazy, you can watch Kraven the Hunter.
Yeah, I might try to get.
I'm not watching that crap. We have 3 episodes of Rings of Power to discuss. That's it.
It's going to be rough. Yeah. Okay.
The week after that is Beetlejuice 2, but I'm not prioritizing that. I'll catch it eventually.
Seen pieces.
Yeah. So it's Rings of Power for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. Agatha starts halfway in between that. I could care less. There's too much stuff going on. I'm probably not going to watch it. And then the Penguin also starts the same week as Agatha. and I'm definitely interested in checking that one out. And that one goes on for a couple of weeks after Rings of Power, and then Dune Prophecy. We're supposed to get Dune Prophecy sometime in this fall, and we're absolutely watching that.
Yeah.
Arcane also hits in November, and now apparently Silo 2 hits November as well.
Mhm.
Like, we're going to be talking about like 3 TV shows and come November. Well,
Sounds
we'll
good.
talk about Arcane season 2 for 1 week because Netflix is retarded.
Because it's still dropping all at once. Did it? Because the first one they did
Skeleton-
like 3 at a time or something, didn't they? They did like 3 episodes and then 3 episodes and then 3 episodes or something. For
Yeah,
Arcane.
they maybe.
Let's see what they're doing this time. Yeah.
Skeleton Crew drops in December as well, and I'm probably not going to watch that.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll be too busy watching Silo season 2.
Fair.
I'm
All right. Well, you guys have fun talking Ted Lasso.
Star Wars can
Well,
screw right off. It's so dead to me. It's beyond dead to me.
Good for you.
I have no feelings left.
oh, okay.
It's been an abusive relationship that I can't bring myself to care about Star Wars anymore.
It's definitely harder. I'll admit that as well. But I wanted to bring this up as well before you leave, Bearded.
Okay.
Did I miss you guys talking about the whole Brandon Sanderson Cosmere RPG?
I don't think we did talk about it.
that.
Like that should have been huge. Why did we not talk about him as RPG?
Yeah.
I'm not super interested in RPGs in other people's worlds. Here's the thing. I play a lot of D&D. I could care less about the setting. I don't care about Savage Worlds or not Savage Worlds. The realms, I don't read any of the lore books or any of like the modules. Like everyone's played Curse of Strahd because it's great, right? But even that, it's like it's a pocket universe, and no one. I do not care about Wizards of the Coast. I don't care about their world building. I play D&D so I can role play with my friends, and I create my own worlds that we play in.
And you just use the rule set.
Yeah, right now we're playing. One of my friends is DMing, and we're playing pirates. So he's created a whole, and we call it Pirate Patrol because we're silly, but we're role playing as pirates. I've never really been interested in.
Dude, yeah, but it's Brandon Sanderson we're talking about. Literally, you get to role play being in
Shardbearer.
See, mechanically, that sounds fun. I've just never been interested in playing in a real person's world, right? And playing in someone else's world, that's not this. It's never been into. I'm really happy that it's been successful because he's made another several $1 million, right?
Yeah, it's up to 10.5 billion.
That's
right
great.
Now.
It's just
million. Sorry.
It doesn't excite me. Like I could be convinced to play if someone else is setting it up. But
I'm definitely thinking we're going to be doing it. So
yeah,
we
I'd be down. That's the thing is I've enjoyed playing D&D, but the problem is for me, I play with a bunch of people who are much more involved in some of it with the lore. Some of it's going to some of it's the lore. Some of it's like, again, they're just more familiar with the role playing like ins and outs of some of the rules that like I've played for years. I just never have it ingrained as much. Yeah, see you, Justin.
Yep.
But
it's also more work. It's so much more work though to do, to have to pay attention to the lore. I'm like, oh no, I don't know if that's canon, right? Or like,
well, but that's the thing with his is that
role play. It's not,
and he doesn't like. It's not particularly
right.
But it's not focused on the canon, right? Like, that's the thing that he's particularly stressed.
That's what's interesting to me, though. Like, I like creating a world and then exploring the rules of that world. And so, like, if I'm going to jump into, I'm going to go play in the Mistborn world. It sounds fun, but like, it would be less fun for me to experiment with the rules because, like, that's what Brandon does. So like if it was my own world, if I created Mistborn by myself and be like, okay, let's explore the rules. And if we're playing a game and I have to, if I'm the DM and I have to improvise a scenario and someone comes up with like, hey, is it okay if I use this metal and I mix it with this and I burn them at the same time? Could that create this cool thing? I could, as a DM, make that choice of, and I can make lore retroactively, you know, in the moment with that. Like that's part of the improvising is like, oh, and I can do the math quickly and say, yeah, I can make that work in this universe. Mm-hmm. If I'm playing in Brandon Sanderson's Mistborn, I'm going to be thinking, do they ever do that in the books? And the answer is 90% of the time going to be no to the player. No, you can't do that because that breaks lore. If it's my own world, I can think, I can come up with an excuse for how this doesn't break lore because it's mine, you know?
Well, yeah, but then
I think you can still do that even within that world. I mean, that's what people do with a lot of D&D too. Even though it is someone else's world with that.
Yeah.
I mean, because again, it's not like you breaking lore in your campaign for this situation is going to affect the books themselves.
It makes me feel icky. It makes me feel icky.
I see that a little bit. If you have that intention of making sure that it doesn't, like, it won't be like it doesn't necessarily have to be. It's never been done in the book, so you can't do that. But you'll be able to use the like your knowledge of the lore to say, you know, that should work, and I can't imagine it breaking it, and so we're going to go with it for now. You know, those sorts of things that I think you can do without making it feel as icky as being able to say like, well, it might break things, but I like it, so go ahead. You know,
I also feel like I would need to have read all of his books like 5 times.
Well,
before I started role playing in it, you know.
That's what all the source material that you get is for.
Yeah, but like as a dungeon master, if I'm running the game, like I want it.
I see where you're getting at. I might
accidentally create a character that contradicts something.
Yeah,
what if I accidentally make the Lord Ruler gay or something like that? I'm like, oops, I just messed up all the continuity. What if someone tries to roll persuasion? What if someone tries to flirt with the Lord Ruler and they roll a nat 20 and you're like, I guess this is happening now? Like,
then go with it. That's what the DM does.
Seduce the God King. Seduce Suzaborn.
So I'm just saying. I think you're missing out on a great opportunity.
I've been excited because I've wanted to play in a world that I feel like I'm more connected to the world and to the
right.
Even if I don't necessarily know all the ins and outs of some of the system or whatever. Like I feel like I'd be more,
and you can learn.
Things,
it's more of a handcuff than you think it would be.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on again how you feel about it though. Like you said, if you're feeling like you'd get caught up in feeling like you're limited by that versus otherwise. Because again,
if you don't think about the implications, it's like, oh yeah, that'd be fun. I want to go play in Mistborn, but like it's, I think it's more of a hindrance than a.
The thing that I was talking to my brother about it because he's big with D&D and everything too. He's a little like bummed because it's not going to end up with as easily translatable like you can't take the classes or some of the ideas from the Cosmere and put it onto the D&D rules because the like stats and attributes don't line up, and like the leveling system because they've made it more the paths, so it's not quite the class systems is not quite the same. Things like that make it harder to try to adapt into trying to use the D20, the regular D&D system, which he kind of wanted to be able to do. So.
Yeah, at the same time, like, screw Wizards of the Coast. Like, I'm totally glad that this is successful. It's just like there's something about it that like doesn't excite me. Mm-hmm. But like, if it was just like a rules system, and you could, hey, like if it's like Stormlight adjacent, like, hey, this is a metal pusher guy, and then you can create your own world and play as metal pusher guy. That seems a whole lot more fun to me than I'm gonna go play on Scadrial.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean,
especially, and then thinking of like plotting wise too. If I'm trying to, as a DM, if I'm trying to come up with an arc, right, or like a villain for the people to play against, like I'd have to go and reread the books and try and come up with a backstory for Brandon Sanderson. That just feels icky. It feels icky to me. Icky.
I think it'll force you to be more creative.
I'm also I'm approaching this as a DM and not as a player, right?
I also think, though, think about what Brandon always says. Limitation is where creativity comes in. So having that limitation might force you to be even more creative.
Right, like that's what I was trying to say. It's like you learn to kind of play within those bounds, right? So it's like, hey, and you can break.
Okay, I'm going to run a campaign that takes place exclusively during the balls that are thrown in the first Mistborn book, and it's all going to be about romancing the not the ska. What's the name of the regulars? Are they just humans and ska?
Yeah, the
nobility.
Nobility.
I guess that's the term there.
Yeah.
It's all going to be about. It's romancing the nobility. It's like romancing. What's the boy's name?
Romancing the alloy. You're doing a romancing the stone kind of play.
It's going to be a political thriller, but you can only progress through romance.
See, but the thing with this though, Alan, is I think it just gives you a structure to play around, right? So it's like, hey, they give you maps you can play around with, and you know, if you don't want to be constricted to those maps, you know, add a cave of your own in there, or add a cavern of your own, or something like that. But it's like it's the framework that allows you.
Mark, I wasn't being serious. I just thought of the gayest thing I could think of. If that's Bridgerton, steer clear, baby.
I do, Jared. I do see what Alan's saying in terms of it just not feeling like the sort of stuff that interests him, especially as a DM, to try to fit into that world. So, like, I can get that, even though I still stand with you in terms of, like, I think you can still have fun with that. I think you can still do that without it becoming a problem. But I could see him. I can understand you saying you feel like it would just be a problem you wouldn't have fun with, wouldn't be as interesting to you. So, teach your own.
I will say, Keira Knightley's Pride and Prejudice is a fantastic movie.
It's got Keira Knightley in it, so the eye candy, if nothing else.
Anyway, I just thought I was kind of surprised you guys weren't a little more excited about it, and I haven't heard about it.
I'm not as big of a gamer. I'm more of a social gamer, and so like I do it for the opportunity to hang out with my friends, like Alan's saying. And so like I was intrigued in finding out about it, but I wasn't going to drive hey, bring it up like you did. But I'm glad you did, because I'm still excited about it.
I think it is really cool. I'll probably end up playing it. I was tempted to buy everything, even though it's not interesting to me, right?
Hey,
I will say some of the miniature design, they look really fantastic. They are not super well designed for miniatures, though. Like, they look great, and yet some of those, like, a lot of these pieces are going to snap off really easily. Like, you have to be conscious of how, like, miniatures work as well when you're designing them. Like, especially the crab, the Kremling. Those they're so small. Like, even with a resin printer, like, that's gonna snap instantly.
Well, I was gonna say I'm thinking of buying the versions where you get all the STLs. So maybe I'll have to have you 3D print them for me.
I can't print this kind of quality.
Yeah,
I have a PLA printer, which is top down. Right. If you want these to look good, you need a resin printer.
Got it.
Well, if you guys end up doing a campaign that you have any opportunity to do online, then let me know. But if you're doing it in person, it's much more fun. So
yeah, like pull up the Kremling. He's got those two little antennae that stick out. Those, I don't even think those will last during the printing. Like, pulling it off the printer, those are going to break off.
Yeah.
Do better.
Do better, Brandon.
Brandon Sanderson.
Don't do better, Brandon.
No, do better, whoever you hired for the art design. Fantastic. But you need a naysayer. Hey, looks good. Not gonna work. You gotta make it more robust. I know it's not canon. Make those tentacles thicker.
Yep. You do have to do that. That's for sure.
Even some of just like the human characters, they have like their swords are like way too thin. Like, yes, it's not accurate. You have to make them bigger. They're going to snap in half.
Intrigued by the luck die or whatever it is, the extra die to roll with. The thing that'll make that interesting for a DM to figure out is that play of deciding when to add that opportunity in there. So like that'll be a challenge that I don't envy a DM making those kind of judgment calls on, like, yeah, go ahead and toss in an opportunity on, die on that one or whatever it is. But I was also glad to see that, because there's a lot of creativity that can go into trying to figure out what kinds of opportunities or challenges could arise from successful or failed roles. But I do, as somebody who might not be, at least not practiced at being on the spot creative with something like that, I do appreciate that he has cards you can get that'll give you some starting points to work with.
Yeah,
Exactly.
the plot deck is a really good idea to
Right.
to help as a DM. Like, hey, if you're not smart like this guy, you can rely on a plot deck. That's
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. I agree. I thought that was very
there's a lot to like about it. I will probably end up playing it at some point. It's just I'm not immediately excited by it for my general reservations of any kind of thing like this. So,
all right, I'm out of here. Have a good
it.
one. Talk about Ted Lasso.
yeah,
See you guys.
yeah, bye. Ted Lasso, horrible third season, right?
No, okay, that's what I want to talk to you about.
It's bad.
I actually really liked it. I thought it was
Okay.
a good a good season to end on.
That's the gayest thing you ever said.
No. Well, you know what? There was a lot of that, but I will admit, though, after that,
I do
episode,
like
they
the final episode is good.
Well, yeah, but I'm even talking like the last four episodes, probably. Like,
But come on, like literally turning Roy Kent into a cuckold.
a what?
A cuckold.
To someone who's empathetic?
That's not. No.
He started to actually have
cuckold.
feelings. What's wrong with that?
No, that's not what I'm complaining about, dude.
What do you use a different word then?
Google cuckold.
I'm afraid what I'm gonna get when I Google that.
Yeah, maybe don't Google it. I just want you to Google it. No, it's he just
a man whose wife is sexually unfaithful, regarded as an object of derision.
They break them up and have her. It's so dumb.
No, but that's the thing. Okay, so she doesn't even end up with anybody. I mean, I think it's like, okay, so here's the thing. There may have been some endings where it's like, okay, maybe that wasn't the best way to end it, right? So maybe Roy should have been with him, or maybe what's the other guy's name? Roy Kent or Jamie Tart.
Jamie Tart.
So maybe he should have ended up with him, right? But I think it was smart.
Think Roy Kent and Jamie Tart should have ended up together?
Well, no, I'm just saying there's the possibility, right? Because he was in love with her, and so was Roy Tart, right? I mean, Roy Kent. So it's like, so they've got these two love interests. So either they do what you said and have them do like a threesome, which definitely was never hinted.
I didn't propose that. That's what sickos on the internet were proposing.
True, exactly. So you either do that, which would have been absolutely ridiculous.
No,
or you say, hey, maybe it doesn't work with either of them, and I think that's fine.
I don't even think
hey,
that it's just such a basic storytelling. I can't even believe you're proposing this. Like Roy Kent and Keeley were a fantastic relationship, and to break them up was a stupid choice, and to have her have a Salinger lesbian year was really stupid. Only to have her go back to Roy Kent, which should have just been from the beginning. Jamie Tart's character arc is that he has to get over Keeley. He has to mature. And that's always been his arc, is him slowly maturing and becoming a man and not a little dumb boy.
Yeah, well,
Roy Kent is already a man. He doesn't need an arc about becoming a cuckold and winning his wife back.
But here's the thing. I think each of these characters are completely different, right? So you have Roy, who, sure, he's a man, but like, is that sort of a man always the best?
Yes.
wait.
Roy Kent is the best character on the show. He is the best.
Okay, yeah, he's great. I love Roy
He
Kent.
is the best boy.
Insensitive. He was
And the
insensitive.
fact and the fact that it was him leaving her is even stupider.
Well, apparently it was a mutual decision when they were telling.
It was so dumb. It was a complete regression of his character.
All I'm saying is that they changed. Right? So they had to change, and for someone who's rock solid as whose facade is unbreakable, for him to be able to break that down as a character,
he'd already done that in season 2.
So
Season 3 was a complete reversal, complete regression of Roy Kent's character, destroyed his character. I hated it.
I disagree. I think it even him going and doing the Diamond Dogs for the first time, like, it was great, right? Because you see that he's progressed to this position where he's ready to talk about his feelings with other people, right? He's ready to admit that, hey, maybe he's been going about it in the wrong way.
And you could have done that without him breaking up with Keeley.
You know what? You could have, but they chose to do that, and I don't think that
it was a dumb choice.
I don't think it was detrimental, though. I think it
absolutely
was.
It was absolutely detrimental to the story.
I disagree.
They have Keeley's entire plot arc took way too much screen time and was completely. Yes. It was so long and completely unnecessary. Added absolutely nothing to her character other than to say, "Hey, she's bi." Great. Who gives a shit? It was so pointless.
But here's the thing too, though, Alan. That like, I think it's not even about that particular relationship. It's about like the rest of it, right? Because after that relationship, after they broke up, and after she had her lesbian experience or whatever, she goes on and learns how to continue on even after she's gone through a difficult breakup, right? She continues to go on and be independent and continue to build her career, right? So like, that's a story that can be inspirational, right? And that's the thing, like, Ted Lasso is all about trying to inspire people, right, to learn and to grow. And so that's what she did. She went and she was inspired.
And my problem is in season 3, a lot of these characters grow backwards, only to fix it all at the end. The problem is the resolution isn't satisfying because the problems were artificially manufactured.
Well, but here's
right. Yes, I liked that they finally fixed it by the end. Like the last episode is good, but it doesn't feel good because they're problems you created yourself. Right? It's the meme of the bicycle guy sticking his stick in his spokes and be like, oh no, I'm like, and yeah, technically the story is about him getting back up and getting back on his bicycle, but it's his own fault.
Yeah, but that happens all the time in real life. I mean, yes, there was some digression, and even if there was some digression in their character build, that happens in real life, right?
Yeah, I know people make mistakes in real life. Yes, and people make mistakes in real life. The problem is you'd already had these characters grow through season 1 and season 2, only to have them regress so that you could fix their problem again. Don't do that. Give them a new problem to overcome. Okay, it's like what they did with Game of Thrones, right? You spent the entire show making Jaime Lannister likable and relatable. The whole point of that was give you a reprehensible evil character, and then get you to like him anyway by having him change and grow. And then in the final episode of the final season, they completely pull the rug out from underneath you and have him betray everything that he was growing up. It's exactly the same with How I Met Your Mother, right? Why we hate the ending to How I Met Your Mother is because it's building and building and building, and then pulls the rug out from underneath you and regresses. Barney's character growth means nothing because of the final episode, and that's what they did to Roy Kent. That's what they did to Keeley Jones. That's what they do to. I mean, they even.
I disagree.
I don't even like what they did with Ted Lasso. Ted's character in the season. It was
why he
too
realized
much.
he's been away from his kid too long.
No,
and
I
so
liked
he's
the last episode.
Yes,
It's good.
but like, I mean, the rest of it, he's struggling with this possibility that his wife might be, having a serious relationship
Yeah.
with another man, right? And I mean, I'd be having a like I get that there's parallels and things like that you mentioned before, how he was getting cheated on while they were writing it and whatnot. But like, I don't think it was garbage like you're saying. I think there was a lot of value in the season. There was growth and inspiration. It was fun to see. Like I felt like it was less focused on Ted Lasso, which is what the whole thing was about, right? Like the very end where the memoir is like, hey, you should change the title because it was never about me, right? Like I felt like that was exactly what it was. Is like the whole season was about these other people and about how they were changed by the way that he inspired them to be different, right? And sometimes it was experimentation, sometimes it didn't work out, sometimes it did, right? Like even with the towel guy, he went and he completely left the team, went to West Ham, and the whole season it's all about him. Hey, like I'm making my dream job here in West Ham.
His turnover was way too fast.
What?
Like his turnover was way too fast. They set up the ending of season 2. The ending of season 2 sets him up as like the villain, right? He's like, hey, we're gonna have butting heads, and then the first episode, the first time you see him coach, he's already like, oh no, I want to go back. You're like, I get that was an arc that could, and that absolutely felt like they were rushing it because I
agree,
and it's probably not their fault, right? Jason Sudeikis was cuckolded, okay, in real life, and didn't write season 3, so people picked it up, and so like they basically felt like, oh, we're not gonna get a season 4, because that absolutely felt like an arc where like, oh, we're gonna have them be rivals for a bit, and then in season 4 or season 5 we can have him repent and become friends again and come back. But like that was the biggest rushed of like he immediately regrets going to this, like I guess he gets like one episode, he's like spitting on people, right?
Yeah.
Like they're showing him as this super vindictive, creepy guy, and then overnight, like you don't even see on screen, he just like, oh no, I'm going to be a good guy now again.
Yeah, no, I agree, because even with that one, I will admit that because
what was you just watched it? It's more fresh. What does he spit on? He spits
on the equipment guy. The equipment
and you're like,
he spits on.
Dude, this is like not a good guy.
Yeah, no, I agree, and that part I will definitely agree, because he did, like, it was the second to last episode, and then that's when he quits, and he's like, oh, okay, and then he's automatically back on the other one, and I was like, okay, that was a little fast.
Like I'm okay. Like again, I'm okay with the idea, but man, the execution was awful.
That one I will give you. I will give you. Yeah, I'll agree with you on that one. But I think the other ones, though, I mean, even with the story,
even right, the bad guy, right? Like Rupert, right? They like turn him sympathetic at the end too, and you're like just be consistent.
Well,
like he's supposed to be the big bad guy, and then just like he was.
I don't think that you really he's
no, but they spend like all these episodes showing that like, oh, he's like super vindictive, and then there's like in the last like 2 episodes they try and like turn him into a good guy too, and you're like,
no, see the last 2 episodes he just gets what's coming to him. He finally has the divorces coming to him, and then he loses the team because because everybody sees that he's a jerk. Like, it's not that they were turning him good. They just finally saw that he really was the bad guy, and he wasn't.
No, but like they showed like he didn't even care. Like it didn't affect him. Like it just, I don't know.
No, they didn't. No, that's wrong too, in my opinion. I would completely disagree. I think that it definitely showed, especially in the last episode, that it bothered him how much he was losing, and how much because it was really that last episode. The one before, he starts to be a little bit more sympathetic because they're talking about the national team, the elite teams, and then he's like, oh yeah, okay, like they share this kind of moment with Rebecca or whatnot, and they're a little more sympathetic. But then But then at the end of that one, his wife and mistress come over to Rebecca's house, right? And so the last episode is all about him, and the news is all out and saying, hey, he's completely under fire for being, for cheating on his wife again, and he might lose his team.
Yeah.
And you can see it in his face. Like, I mean, that's why he pushed the coach at the end, is because he was steaming and he was over the top.
I might be misremembering that one. It's been a while since I watched it.
Yeah. All I'm saying is I think it was actually a good last season. It wasn't as bad as
we spent season 3. We also spent like 5 episodes on like the substitute teacher.
No, that was season 2.
Was that season 2? Okay, season 2 also has some missteps. Like there's like a random substitute teacher in there that you're like, what was the point of any of that? And I also haven't liked Coach Beard's characters since season 1.
Oh, I loved his character.
His character was great in season 1, and then in season 2 they're like, oh, what was the point of Coach Beard? Oh, it's that he's quirky, and so that's become his entire personality now. And I hated him in it was like bearable in season 2. I hated him in season 3. It was like his whole point was he has that entire episode where they do like the hangover, but it's just him because he's on a drug trip. Like I just didn't care. It was just so pointless.
That one was a little weird, but I thought it was good. I laughed.
He was a character in season 1, and he was a meme in seasons 2 and 3.
Well, I think it's because you start to realize what kind of a character he is. Like the first character,
I think it becomes less of a character.
Well, they become more comfortable with each other, right? And you get to see how they play around with each other. And
I don't even know why he's there.
Well, that's part of his character. He's just kind of the like brooding kind of like, and then he has some spout of wisdom, that.
He just felt completely wasted in season 3.
I liked it. I thought it was fun.
Apparently, they just announced they're doing season 4 after.
What?
They just renewed it for season 4 after like an entire year of the creators saying no. Season 3 was the story we wanted to tell. We're done. But and then Apple paid them a whole bunch more money, and they said, "I guess we're writing season 4, so it's going to be garbage because they're going to have to improvise the story." And
that might be tricky.
And they clearly ended the story. And it's going to be so bad.
That might be an issue because I can definitely see where that might be a problem. But here's the thing. Unfortunately, I think it's still pretty popular. Like, seriously, it's still...
Oh, yeah. It's their most successful show.
Yeah, right? So it's like, of course, people want more. They'd want more of it, but...
It's bad. It's a bad choice.
But to bring it back, I don't know how I feel about that. But I did like season 3. I thought it was good. I thought it was fun. It made me laugh several times, made me smile. And definitely start to see kind of Ted Lasso's influence on everybody. And it wasn't necessarily Ted Lasso because Ted Lasso, was kind of getting more depressed.
I completely forgot. What the crap was the point of Zava?
Oh, I don't know.
He was he comes out of not even mentioned until season 3, becomes a huge thing, and then we're like, oh yeah, we're not going to do anything with this character. He's not even in the second half of the season.
Yeah,
I just do not understand. That was just so completely pointless. There were so many plot lines in season 3 specific that are just useless. They go nowhere. They add nothing.
I think...
And it's because it was written by a different freaking person.
Well, if you look at, like, the soccer leagues and how they work, a lot of times that does happen, right? Like, you purchase an all-star and then you hope that they'll kind of lead you into all the winning. Like, I don't know if you've watched any of Wrexham or anything like that, but they do the same sort of thing where they're constantly kind of playing or like buying these high-end players to hope that they'll, improve their team. So it could have just been that they were trying to incorporate more of the football lore into the plot, which it did seem out of place. I mean, no, it didn't even really seem out of place. It was fun, and I think like you can see that the characters had fun with it. It doesn't forward the plot at all. That's
like
for sure.
they didn't even like have a reason for needing him too. Like the entire point of season 2 is that they'd grown as a team, and then all of a sudden season 3 starts is like, oh, we can't possibly continue without someone else. And you're like, but the whole point of season 2 is that you've grown into this better team, and now our team is dysfunctional unless we buy this expensive guy, and then they buy him and then they lose him and nothing changes. And you're like, well, so what was the point of any of it?
I think the point of it was that the Premier League was just more difficult, more challenging, right? And so even though their team had, was going and they were playing well, they just barely got into the league, and so they didn't know quite what the challenges they were going to go up against as a team. And so as their team continued to fight and try to go up, they realized that it wasn't working. And then they say, hey, we need to buy this guy. And then that's when they get rid of him, and Ted Lasso has his stoner journey, right? And realizes, oh, okay, maybe we just need to play a little differently, right? And so they that's when they switch tactics and such and start actually, getting some teams. I mean, some going up in the list a little bit. That's how I read it, at least, is that they kind of were like, hey, they've got challenges, right? So at the end of season 2,
it just felt so pointless.
So at the end of season 2, they're like, hey, we're on our high, but then season 3, you got to go up against challenges, right? That's like in any story arc. Like as soon as you grow, you've got to face more challenges, right? You've got to find your way home or whatnot, right? Unless it's Lord of the Rings, then you just take an eagle. But like, anyway, that's kind of,
it's just frustrating. It's just a very, very, very frustrating season.
I don't know. I liked it.
You would. Of course you liked
it. I liked it. Yep, it was good.
You reprobate.
So I just had to let you know that, and this stream's gone on way too long, but I had to let you know.
It's been 3.5 hours.
It's definitely
a record stream.
Not as bad. So don't always listen to what TechBeck says.
Or always listen to what I say because I'm always right, and no one has any correct opinions that differ from mine.
Yeah.
At least if they want to continue being on the show.
Hey, that's okay. Frees up my Sunday nights.
I'm really feeling it now. I'm also more pissed because I'm sick. So
maybe not
genuinely. I'm becoming. Oh man, I've gone through phases this stream of like, so you know how you can kind of like get like high energy when you're sick too, like you get through like a phase where you're like, oh, like I'm kind of feeling dizzy, and you kind of feel a little bit euphoric even though you're feeling like crap. I had that, and then I turned into a loopy phase, and now I'm in a grumpy phase.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'll let you go to bed. I'll let you go and rest.
This was supposed to be a short stream.
And that was not my fault. You guys decided to
like Romulus more than I like Aliens. Look, I agree. Aliens is the better film. I just enjoyed watching Romulus a little bit better. A little bit more. Anyway. Ted Lasso sucks. And, man, we just keep... I thought our schedule was filling up. And I didn't even know that Silo Season 2 drops in November. Now there's going to be a lot. It's going to be Dune. We're going to get 2... Becky Ferguson shows at the same time. Oh no, she's not going to be in Dune Prophecy. That's a prequel. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
But honestly, the way that the Bene Gesserit work, you could totally have Rebecca Ferguson in the show. It's because, I mean, she's in all of the future books too. Not all of them. But because they keep reusing the same genes. It's not the same person, right? She just looks like the same person.
I see. Yeah. Okay.
Because the Bene Gesserits are They are eugenicists.
That's messed up.
That's kind of cool, actually. In the books, they do it the cool kind of way.
Oh, okay. That's better.
It's not restrictive eugenics; it's inclusive eugenics. So they do it by having sex, not by killing.
Anyway,
it's eugenics. It's eugenics, but sexy.
Definitely think it might be time to end this one.
HR.
We got a busy schedule, though. That's for sure.
All right. Yeah, next week. Rings of Power. I hope your butt cheeks are clenched and ready for the absolute poop show that is going to be Rings of Power.
Yeah, that one will be fun.
It won't be fun.
Oh, it'll be fun. I'm sure it'll be fun.
It'll be fun to destroy. It won't be fun to watch.
Exactly.
Anyway, all right. See you next week. Thanks for tuning in. It's been a blast. I'm sorry I've been a bad host today. You can see I'm like pale. I don't look good. Anyway, I'm going to go die now. Bye.
And now it is time to say goodbye.
We had a great conversation.
It's been fun. But all good things must come to an end, and the goodest ending I can think of is...
Right now, this moment, this night.
So I guess we just say goodbye.
So, goodbye.
Toodaloo. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao. Ding dao day. But come back next week for more outrageous bloopers.
This is the end.
Well, there's only one thing left to do.
I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If it's true, please take a minute to subscribe to the channel, and you can join us along for the ride. And if you pay me, I'll try to be more entertaining, so please consider joining